learn life wisdom, and increase our life energy. Grandmaster app helps you to grow. Now the Grandmaster app is officially released. Whether you're using Android or iOS, you can download, you can register and use the Grandmaster app. There are very rich resources and 500 videos and live feed records for you to watch. There's video, audio, and text. Virtue will pass down long term, and you can also download so that you can listen offline. The topic covers your life wisdom, your family relationship, your spiritual growth, and also for youth. And there are Q&A every day. There's aphorism to guide us our daily life. And you can also record your practice time and also what you learn from the teachings. You can receive Grandmaster JinBodhi's grand energy blessings to get rid of your fatigue, and Grandmaster app help you to grow into a better self.
Hello,
my dear friends.
今天呢
Today, we're going to talk about, well, actually, I really don't want to talk about this topic. However, my dear friends sent me lots of messages and letters and asked for help. Things about these, if we talk too much, some people might get scared and, don't want to, they're afraid of it. And so I don't want to make you nervous. However, these kind of things in many regions actually they happen a lot, and if you learn something, even though you might get a little afraid, but if you know it, it's at least better than not knowing anything about it. And so listen carefully, so you will also learn some, get some experiences and learn something from it. So Joyce might have a story first. Yes, Grandmaster. So this is from Yue Yue from Southeast Asia, and it is about a story about black magic. And it's talking about someone who has the facial paralysis. And so she has a relative who lives in Indonesia, and she's a professional ballerina, and she also learned abroad, and so she has a excellent dancing skills. So after she graduated, she went back to the hometown and started a dance studio because she's very beautiful and dance beautifully, and she also has very good dancing skills and learned overseas. And so her business was so well, and students just rushed to come to her studio. However, it didn't last very long. So one day in the evening, when she was washing her face, and when she looked into the mirror, and in the morning she still was having a very pretty face, but in the evening, part of her face was crooked, and so it's what we call like the facial paralysis. This is such a shock to her. She's a professional ballerina, and her appearance is so critical for her teaching. And when she went to see the doctors didn't know the exact reason, and So her friend was thinking that it's kind of weird because it doesn't look like just a physical issue. So they introduced her to a psychic, and so the psychic said, "Oh no, this must be someone who actually put a black magic on you." And then she said, "Why?" And so the psychic said, "Well, yeah, because you have a very good life." And she said, "Yeah, because the psychic can connect." And she said, "Well, it's among your friends. You know him or her, and he or she know you. And because he or she is very jealous, so they ask somebody to put the black magic on you, and they want you to because of jealousy, they want to harm you, so you cannot have students and cannot continue the business." And so this ballet teacher said, "Oh, what should I do?" And so the psychic said, "Don't worry, I'm willing to help you because you're a very kind person." And so she said, "When you go back home, you can observe in your friends and see who or whose family members might even pass away, so it will have some bad news." And so this ballerina went back home, and truly after a few days, among her friends there was someone who she heard that her friend's family member passed away. So why? So the psychic told her that casting a spell is actually harming, but once this spell is removed, then this spell will come back and bounce back to the person who put it, and the force would be even stronger than the original spell or the original black magic. And so the psychic helped her to remove the black magic, and the spell bounced back and made the person who actually tried to harm her actually get harmed themselves. So what about the ballerina? Oh, yeah, she actually completely recovered, and so she get back her beautiful face, and her dancing still continued to develop, and is very famous, a very famous local dance studio. Yeah. So, wow, that's very lucky. Yeah. So Grandmaster said, yeah. Well, they made her face to have the paralysis, but the psychic helped her to get back to her original face. But the person who put the black magic on her, one of the person's family member passed away. So. See, don't harm others. So, yeah, jealousy should, actually make us more motivated to work harder. Do not do harm for things to others. So really remember that. Okay, Christine. Okay, Grandmaster, I'd like to share another story. So it's from Lily from Malaysia, and okay, so she said, "Oh, I'm Lily. I'm from a little village in Malaysia." So this is a story that my grandma told me in my childhood. So at the time in my village, there's a young man who really loved another girl, but the girl was not very no chemistry. So not very interested in him. When the young man tried to approach her, the girl didn't want to talk to him. And when the young man wanted to date her, the girl even refused. And so the young man was very frustrated, and he wanted to find a good way so that the girl will agree to to enter into a relationship with him. And so he went to find also a psychic in the village, and so this psychic said, "Okay, I'll give you a spell. It's like a love spell." And so he said he gave him something. So you just put this at a place where this girl will pass by. As long as the girl, cross this spell, then you two, this girl will fall in love with you. This young man was so overjoyed. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's almost like now there's a way to to make her fall in love with him. And so he started to observe the girl, where she would go at what time. And so he made it very clear. And after a few days, he got very clear about the girl's routine. And so in the evening, he secretly put that spell over there. And so the next day, he was waiting for the girl, will pass by. And then, all of a sudden, he would suddenly, get shot by the arrow, the love arrow. And then, however, that morning, even before the girl passed the place where he hidden the spell, there was a pig who passed by. And then maybe the pig was just pushed by somebody else. And then the pig actually passed the place where the spell was. So, and then, so this, now the pig is now connected to the young man, and the spell is so effective. And the pig, ever since then, would never want to leave the young man. And so the young man had to pray, to beg for the psychic to remove the spell, because he didn't love the pig. When we heard the story first, we laughed out loud. Oh my gosh! And then Lily said, yeah, in their village they were always talking about this story, because that's what her grandmother told her. So whoever passed that spell, then this connection will be established, Well, that's actually very effective, huh? Effective to both human beings and pigs. Oh my gosh. However, yeah. Well, if you love someone, you should try your best to attract her. Don't use this kind of way to force the girl to love you, right? Otherwise, you suddenly had this relationship with the pig. What if the pig doesn't want to stop the relationship, right? So if you want to have love, do not use spell or black magic, because those are not the right way. These are not good ways to do that. What if you harm the other party, right? Well, this is kind of funny, but sometimes if something harmful happened, then you won't be able to laugh, right? So this is a good lesson, but it's also funny, right? Yeah. So if you see some animals always follow you, you need to see whether it's your dog, your pet, or your pig. Okay, Kunti also has a wonderful story to share with us, right? Oh, yes. So this is Xiao is an online friend, and with two other kids. So Xiao said when he was 18 years old, she was 18 years old, so she went to another auntie and with a neighbor, and then that auntie, the friend, invited them to stay for the night so they can go out tomorrow, the next day. So she remembered it was summertime, but she felt really chilly at night, and she was very scared when she closed her eyes, and she didn't dare to sleep. And then she thought, oh, she never had insomnia. She would just fall asleep right after she, get to bed. And so it's already 3 or 4 a.m. in the early morning at dawn, and then she had a dream, and she can smell a very strong fragrance in the room, and she saw 2 little kids, 3 or 4 years old, and was pulling her leg. So unconsciously, she kicked them away. Then she woke up from the dream, and it was not even 6 a.m., and she couldn't get back to sleep anymore. The next morning, she told the dream to that auntie, but however, when she shared the dream, that auntie didn't get surprised at all, and she said, "Did you see the two children?" And she said, "Yeah." So that auntie went back and she didn't say anything and ran to her room and brought back something. Yeah. So what an auntie. She was not surprised at all. And she took out a box wrapped in red fabric. And then she unwrapped the fabric. Inside the box was two soft dolls, one boy and one girl. Each doll had a needle piercing their chest. Oh my gosh. So Xiao it made her hair stand on end. And then the neighbor who came with her asked why she had such things. So this auntie said that there was a Taoist who said there were unfortunate events that was coming to her family, and so he gave her these things to help her. And at the same time, the Taoist gave her a pottery horse to carry the box with dolls. However, the horse's tail was broken off by the Taoist, and the Taoist also gave her a figurine of a woman that looked quite sexy, not really good. And the Taoist, the auntie, they used to make offerings to a statue of Maitreya Buddha, but the Taoist cut off the Buddha statue's pinky finger. And then the Taoist also painted a charm for everyone in their family and put the charm in a locket. The locket has Bagua diagram on the cover and a mirror inside. And since then, she frequently feels that things is not going well. And after Taoist came to perform rituals, he would be paid for it. And then she seemed to, get better a little bit. And then she knew something was right. Kind of weird, but as if they were controlled. But she was scared to say anything. The neighbor who came along and said, "It's better to get rid of these things. It's trouble to keep these things at home." So they brought these things that the Taoist gave the auntie to a local temple and left them there. Regarding the dolls and the spells, they burned everything else at noon. The painted charm and the soft dolls in a large metal pan. It was interesting, although everybody was scared. They didn't sense anything special. But that auntie, she was holding the metal pan, and her hand suddenly swelled. And later, she started. They put Grandmaster's picture over there, and also started to play Grandmaster's chanting music at home. And now everybody felt more settled, and quite magically, the Taoist never came to her home anymore, and everything seems to, unfortunate events stopped. And there's another detail. The Taoist gave each family member a Bagua locket, right, with the painted charm inside. Everybody else charm was burned, but their daughter was studying out of town, and so had her locket with her. And when her daughter returned, her friend was very scared, and so she told her daughter to find Xiao and get rid of it. But Xiao didn't know what to do, but she still tried to be brave and asked her to come to see her at school. And before she went to meet the person's daughter, she put Grandmaster's picture in her pocket and prayed profusely, "Oh, Master, you have to protect me. I'm doing a good deed." And so they met up in front of their school's dumpster, and she rapidly chanted Amiter and stumped her feet on the evil locket. And then they threw the locket into the dumpster and quickly ran away. And she said, "Oh, thanks to Grandmaster protection." And everyone was safe and sound. And thank you, Grandmaster. Oh, that's really scary. Yeah. So Grandmaster said, what would remind you when you hear this? Some people who you're not very familiar, whether they are from they're Buddhist or Taoist or any other schools, not necessarily they are always the kindest. Well, not necessarily a Taoist is not good or Buddhist is good. It depends on that specific person. Tao is good and Taoism is good, Buddhism is good, but some specific people, because their lack of cultivation, however, they have some skills to they just want to make money to make a living, and that actually is not good for that person, really not good. And so how can this person to cultivate Tao, right? It's actually an evil Tao, even if that school is a good school, but what he's doing is an evil. Yeah, I think that whatever he was doing was not the right thing and harmed that family. So we really need to learn from it. Yeah. Whether we're a cultivator or we ask other people to see feng shui or help to resolve some unfortunate things, we need to find the right person. Yeah. Yeah, so Christian said, yeah, we need to have the right mind, right? Right thoughts. And Grandmaster and Christian said, we heard that you also have someone who also encountered something, right? But the person who actually learned these magic skills actually had suffered from some evil things. And well, Grandmaster said, yeah, I actually experienced many things like this. Many years ago, when I was a teenager, I have a good friend, and he's not a Taoist. However, his family was the authentic successor of an ancient Taoist practices, very authentic successor. And so in the history, his whole family, they will practice and cultivate, and they also have disciples, and they will manage the whole school, and they will definitely do the right things, to help people to solve problems. And they themselves will also need to cultivate to increase their own level. And it will always based on compassion and loving kindness. And so this is a family of Ma. They're not Muslim, Yeah, like ancient China, we have Ma Liang. He's not Muslim. There's some people like Ma family or Mo family. They are Muslims, but this family of Ma, yeah. So this is I just call Brother Ma, and he's my friend and also like my teacher. He really likes me, and his father didn't took me as a disciple, but his father is a very good friend of my master, and my master introduced me to visit his father and learn from his father. And of course, I became very familiar with his whole family. And so this brother Ma, one day, it was he was doing something nearby and helping people. And one day he said, "Oh, we've been out for quite a long time. I think there's something happening at home. I need to go back home. Something not very fortunate." And so he was very firm, and I also wanted to go and have a look. And so I asked my master if I could go with him, and my master agreed. And so he said, yeah, you can go with him and to have some experience, and also, yeah, to get some experience. And so that was in Gansu province when we're just about to, we're approaching his hometown. This brother Ma feels an energy that's pushing him away. At the time, I can also feel something. I feel the wind seems to have some unfortunate things to, beating my face and make my face very painful. In the Qinghai Tibetan plateau, the wind is quite strong, but it's like kind of weird wind though. And then this brother Ma said, this evil spirit even want to stop me? So what happened? So let's talk about his family. So brother Ma's brother's son, so it's his niece. Let's call him Xiao Ma. So Xiao Ma is only 16, 17 years old, but when he was only 12, 13 years old, Xiao Ma had an engagement with a Zhang family. And the Zhang family has a little girl who also is quite lovely because of many reasons. Somebody, connected them, at the time, over at that place, they have these kind of, tradition. Before they get to before they get to that age, the parents would arrange their marriage agreement. Nowadays, young people, they try to make boyfriend or girlfriend, but it's actually very hard. At that time, they don't need to find boyfriend and girlfriend. Parents would just arrange that for them. I think that looks like very easy. It's easier. So when Xiao Ma grew up, he really liked another girl who is in his own village and in the same school with him because they get to know each other very well. But the Zhang family is not in the same village, and it's not convenient for him to see the other girl. At the time, transportation was not very easy. Nobody knows that it's whether it's love or it's just a playmate. And so, but however, the Zhang family always sends some relative or some other friends to check Xiao Ma, and see if Xiao Ma had any any activities, and so somebody reported that Xiao Ma always spent time with another girl, and they said, they even went to the town once, and so the Zhang family was very concerned about it, especially that Miss Zhang, and so one time she even had a stomachache because of that. She was very angry, even though she was very young and they didn't really fall in love, but they already had that engagement, right? So this Miss Zhang was very, very angry. The parent and talked to her parents, and her parents tried to, talk it out, but she was still very, very annoyed. And I don't know who introduced to her, but somebody introduced a psychic to her, and she wanted to, do something. Well, she thought, see, we have the engagement, but he doesn't love me, and he loves somebody else, and so she wanted to punish him if he doesn't marry Miss Zhang. Then she wanted to kind of like harm him and even kill him. Maybe when human beings, whenever a human being have love or happy, then whatever sweet words they would say, but when they have some anger, and then they would feel disgusted, and then they want to harm and even want to kill, and so it's kind of So he was he even cursing him and wanted to kill him, and so he asked help from a psychic, and so this Miss Zhang paid about like 1,000 RMB at that time in 1980s was a very big amount of money. And so that psychic said, well, we really need the money, and so don't worry, I will do something for you to help you to do the revenge. And so one day Xiao Ma was riding on a bicycle, but in the village there's a big river. And so the river band has like a path, and so people can walk on it or ride bicycles on it. And so Xiao Ma was whistling and riding on the bicycle, but all of a sudden, the bicycle suddenly lost control. He wanted to stop the bicycle, but the brake was out of control and he couldn't. It doesn't work. And also on the right side of him is the river, but there's a force that pushing him to the right. He was trying to steer to the other side. He didn't know whether he was just because of wind or because he was scared, but however he couldn't stop the bicycle, and all of a sudden he fell into the river. He already ride on the bicycle over there many times, but this time he fell into the river, and the place where he fell, the water was not very deep and not very, the water flow was not very fast. However, in Gansu province, it was early spring, so it was very, very cold. The water was very cold, and so he was just about to be drowned. There was an uncle who passed by, and he saw a little kid fell into the river, and so he took a branch and give the little boy, and so Xiao Ma immediately catch the branch and so was saved. And then they said, which family do you belong to? And then Xiao Ma said, yeah, Ma family. And so that uncle sent him back home immediately. And then he started to say something like, I'll kill you. Why don't love me? And then his parents heard that and felt very surprised. And he was having high fever for quite a few days. It's almost like he was possessed by some evil, and his lips were very dark, and his urines were very, yucky, and his family was very experienced because, but his father, this Dharma was didn't cultivate and practice that much compared to my friend brother Ma. He was not that connected, and he also got married and do some farm work. And however, he still know that this is not right. It's not a normal thing, and he wanted to call, but he couldn't find his brother Ma. But however, brother Ma sensed it, and so when brother Ma came back home, he saw that this Xiao Ma was still having the fever, and then so brother Ma just did something ritual, and then within 1 or 2 hours, Xiao Ma was completely fine. So this is really, so brother Ma took out a sword and were doing some movements. I know that was a ritual, and he threw a paper in the air, and then the sword will pierce the paper, and then the little kid say, I need to go to washroom. And then he was able to run out, and then he wanted to eat because he felt hungry. And then, so this little kid doesn't want to lie on the bed, and he would go to the washroom to pee, and then he felt hungry, and he wanted to have noodle. And so everything was fine. And then the Ma family was discussing what happened. I was there too. And then brother Ma said, I feel like somebody was putting a black magic on him. And so I've already walked a whole day. I'm too tired. Later in the evening, I will look at it from above, because he's a cultivator. He said, I will look from above. It means that he would go to the heaven to see it. I don't know who he would go to look, and because we have different religion. But the next day he told me that he
为啥呀？
found
怎么？
out
我就
why.
问了一句。
I said, why
因
they
为爱
would
情。
put the black magic? He said, oh, it's because of
因为爱
love.
情，他就知道了这是
He know
张姑
that
娘家
this
看的事
was done
完了
by
亲
Miss Zhang
是吧？因为人
because
家侄
of
子不争
that
气，非喜欢上别的
engagement.
女孩儿，是吧？
However, that
那
Xiao
张
Ma
家
loves
听到之后
another
很生
girl,
气
and the
啊，这
Zhang
张姑
family
娘
was very
花钱
angry,
请人来搞他。
and this Miss Zhang
啊，这是以后
paid
不
for
是
somebody
有爱
to
就会有
put
恨
the
的，
black magic
就是
on
这样。
him to
好，
take that
他说，但
revenge.
是
And you know, whenever
我
when
发现
never
这张
there's
姑娘
love,
可
there's
是不会做
hatred.
法呀。
And however, we know
这
that
咱
Miss
这里
Zhang
谁不
doesn't
认识
know
咱
any
家？
black
做
magic.
法的人到咱家来
Yeah.
整咱家的人，不是关公面前耍菜刀
Everybody,
吗？
yeah, everybody knows
你真
us,
是
right?
找
We
错
are
人了呀。
doing, like our whole
你还敢
family is
是惹
doing that.
我们家？
You
我
know,
们
you
家
even
是
dare
不服
to
下咒
trouble
修道
us.
的老
Our
鬼魂，
whole family
在我们
is
这附
like
近的
the
都是我们家的门徒。
authentic
你敢动到
successor
我们
of
家
this
来？
school,
他
and
是人我
all
都查
the
到
other
了。
people are disciples, right?
嗯，
So you
谁呀？
even dare
就
who
是
did
他
that?
这个，
And then he found out
就是他应该是他
that
从一个大派当中的一个
this
分支的家
was
中一个传人弟子。
actually a
哎，
a
就
branch
是
of
但
his
是他们的法
school,
呢，没有直接从
a
他
disciple
约
from
的
that
这个来
branch.
学。
And he
啊，
didn't
等于是另
directly
一支，
learn
但是
from
他们都
the
是应该算是道
grandpa
有关系。
but
啊，就论
still
辈分的
he
话，
learned
这个
from
做法的
like
人
another
啊，
branch
这
of
个
this
应该
school.
把马大哥的
And
师叔，
actually,
至少
the
也是自
person
家
who
一
did
个
the
叫做
black
道华
magic
血脉。
should
你自
call
家人不能害自家
this
人
brother
呐。
Ma
你用
like
这些招儿的
uncle.
话，
So
老马家人是正宗传人啊。
yeah, you
闭着眼
cannot
睛过一会
use
儿就
this
发现你是
magic
谁，
to harm your
哎，就
own
立刻找到了。
like
这家
uncle,
伙姓
right?
穆
And so
啊，一个字叫
finally
穆
they
皮
found out
啊
that
啊，真是一脸
this
没皮。
this person who put the black
那
magic
我说去
was
找他谈谈，
Mu Pi.
说他这样来
And
害
so
我，
he said, I need to talk to
敢
him.
用就是说
He
我
even
们这个佛
dared
祖当
to
中最残酷
use
的方法
the
来修
the
理。
the cruelest spell
我给他有什么
to
好办
punish
呢？
my niece.
从我的道法来说，
How
他已
can I
经违背了
talk to
天
him?
规。
He has already
我不修理
broken
他，上
the
天会打
divine
雷
rule.
劈
If
了
I
他，
do not
还会灭
punish
掉他的
him,
孩子。
you know, the divine will punish him and even his children. If I punish him, I will only punish himself. So what should we do? So he wanted
就是
to
他邀请了几个，都是法力高强的道友，啊，做了1-2天的法。
so he invited, so
我们告诉
Mr.
大家
Ma
结局吧。
invited his other, you know, brothers and to do the
那么1-2天
rituals.
之后，
After, let me tell you the
这位
result. After a day or two,
这位通灵者吧，木皮
this Mu Pi,
木皮
that
先生
psychic who put the black
七窍流
black
血，
magic, actually had,
而且口中吐血吐了
you know,
半脸喷血。
bleeding from all the 7, you know, orifices, and then
恶有恶报。
died.
对，
Well, this is cause and consequence, right? So
看这是
the punishment actually went back to
这
him.
个故事
Yeah.
听起来就像那个斗法一样的，
So
对吧？
this story is like they're fighting with their magic skills. Yeah. Most important is that Mu Pi took the money and used the skill to harm other people, and he was even harming like his teacher's family. And he was so greedy and ungrateful. Yeah, so this is even more sinful.
邪不压正啊。
And of course, evil won't be able to win the righteous, right?
那这个小马也是完全
And
就恢复了
this
正
Xiao
常
Ma
小马
completely
也是
recovered.
啊
Xiao Ma
对
was not harmed at all.
不是好在小马还有个修法的叔叔，
就
会
说嘛，
帮着。
It was good that Xiao Ma has an uncle who actually knows how to do it. Otherwise, this Xiao Ma would be harmed. So what about this
小
engagement
马
then
当然就没
later?
事了啊。
Of course, the
没
Xiao
对
Ma
他任何后遗
didn't
症
had any, you know,
就是
side
担心了
effects or
当时的
anything
符咒
or
就是来
sequela.
取小马的性命。
But
对呀，多厉害
the spell, the
呢，
black magic,
马
or
大哥才
actually
心里
to
蒙糊，
was actually
用符咒
trying to
收掉了
to
木
take his life.
是
So that's why
重
this
财
brother
而不重
Ma
道义的人 啊，从他
purged
们
the
这是他等
traitor
于他
because
叫释迦
this
门派
Mu
的
Pi,
他
that
清理门户是正常的
psychic Yeah,
他
so
就
he
是
wanted
看
to
到什么
clean
任何
the
人都没有
school.
任何的
and
证据，就是这样。
Yeah.
你死就该死。因
So
为
when
现在他不
he
吃掉
actually
它
used that
都会
way
出
to actually
千灾
kill
人
that
祸，
muppi,
会将木皮和他
yeah,
的孩子或
even
出
if
一
he
家人的
doesn't
生命。
punish that
对，就
muppi,
更严
then
重。
there will
他
be
是放
maybe
了他
natural
们家的
disaster,
权规，
even harm
那是
not only
肯定
muppi
不
but
会被
also
放过的。
muppi's whole family and his children. And
完了之
so
后呢，就在同一
he
天
just
哈，
used some
就是木皮七窍流
spells
血。
to only
刚死了
punish
之后，
muppi. But after
张姑娘他们不是在
muppi
一个村儿，他们两家更没有电
died,
话。
um,
张姑
the,
娘
this Miss
就
Zhang,
到
who is
了
in a
小
different
马
village and they
掉到
don't have
河里的那
any
个位置，
phone calls,
跳河自杀。
she jumped into the river to commit suicide in exactly the same river that Xiao Ma fell into the river.
对，
Well, Grandmaster said, I
但是
think
呢，
this is because of an energy that caused
已
her,
经感觉到
her
了，
to go there.
就是
But
找了两
Brother
个
Ma was very
相亲汉，
kind. He already
就在那
sensed
等
it.
着。
So he
来
asked
往下
some
跳几个
people
快
to
的，
wait for this Miss Zhang.
他就
And
疯
when
疯
Miss
癫癫
Zhang
说我就是
fell,
不活了，
yeah,
就跳。
Miss Zhang was like
完了之后
crazy
马大
and,
哥
and just
给他
fell,
施
just
法，
jumped into the
将
river.
他
But then this
那
Brother
种叫
Ma
爱情的魔咒也解开了 啊。
put
他就
some
中了
nice
魔一样，
charm
中了心魔
so
啊。
that the
所以有
black
的时候你
smell,
自己中了心
spell
魔，就是你
was
的
removed.
某种贪
Yeah,
心过重
so
了，
sometimes
最后
if
走火入魔。
you
所
know
以
this
马大
Miss
哥给
Zhang
他
actually
施
had
戒
that
之后呢，哦，今天
spell,
过了
it
就
was because of
说
greedy.
我
And
真对
when
不起啊，我不应该
Brother
做这个。
Ma,
我
you know,
当时
removed that,
可能太过于气度，
this Miss Zhang
啊，
was
这样就受了。
crying and repented and said, "Oh no,
对，
how come
也不能有
I was
杀心。
so jealous and tried to kill him? I was really wrong."
对，因为
And
爱
so
情哈，所以有
Brother
时候
Ma
不是
actually
爱就是
saved her
恨。
life. So sometimes love turned into hatred. Yeah, sometimes love is terrible.
前面那个
Yeah.
那个猪，这个
Yeah, love sometimes, you know, the previous story was kind of like making the pig fell in love with the young man. And, you know, there's another story that our online friend just posted. So, Grandmaster, when I was single, once I suspected that I suspected I was cast a spell.
再一次
Before I didn't love the neighboring young man. And one day, his mother said that there's she gave me a hat, and so she said that her son actually brought it from Tibet, and then I put it on only once, and then I put it aside. However, ever since then, I start to fall in love with her son, and I always, you know, longing to see him. I was very surprised. How come I fell in love with him? And one day my mother said, "Oh, be careful. You know, your neighbor's mom was learning to put spells, and don't fall into that spell." And then I was very shocked. I thought, "Oh no, I probably has been put that spell, has been casted a spell." But because of my mother's reminder, I woke up, and my love towards her son eventually dissipated. So I want to ask Grandmaster whether that person actually put the spell on me. The good thing is that that young man's mother just started to learn
但
this.
是
So
有可能他妈当时去
and
了西
Grandmaster
藏
said
啊，
maybe
会请
the
人
mother went to Tibet
帮着下的咒
and
做了
asked
法，
somebody
之后
to
说把
put
这
a
个帽子
spell
给姑
on
娘
it,
戴上。
and then said, "Oh, you just put the
还有就是
hat
说
on the
我
girl."
这一
And
点我
then
提醒大
yeah,
家
so
啊，
I'd like to remind
这是
everyone,
我的经验了，
it's from my
就是
experience,
如果说
if
你不喜欢他，
you do
这个
not
他可以
like
只是任何人，
that person, could be man or woman or whoever, if you do not like the other
如果你不喜欢
person,
他，
if you do not
请不要
like
接
that
受他
person,
任何礼
do
物。
not accept any gift from that person, whether it's
还有如果
food
不
or
喜欢
clothes or
他，
anything.
但是
If you
认
do
识
not like
一
that
起聚个
person,
餐又怎样？
you think that, oh, we know him, and so we can just go
我
out
就是
and
说不
eat
好。
together. I think that's not
不一
good.
定说每个人都会
Well,
符咒，
not
对不对？
necessarily
但是
everybody
每个人都
knows
会下蒙汗药，对
black
不对？
magic, but however, some people might
很
put
可怕。
some,
你到今
you
天
know,
网络视频上
medicine
看
or
看，
yeah, it's
是吧？前面
quite
一个姑娘弟弟在
dangerous.
那喝咖啡，
Yeah,
完了
there was
可
a
能去个
girl
洗
who
手间，
was
这个过
drinking
程之中
coffee,
旁边
and
有个
when the
男的
girl
给
go
她
to the
倒药，
washroom, and then the man
之
put
后
some
他
medicine
拉着
into
她
the
就蹬
coffee,
走，
对呀，在
而
and
且
then
他能够
the
听
man
她的，
just
因为他没有任何反抗的
just
能力，他头是昏
pull
的，
the girl to go because the
对，
girl
很
was
可怕
kind
的，
of
对，
在醒过
fainted
来
or
在男生
or
床
was
上
dizzy,
对，
and
这已经
then
事儿出了，
就是
在床上活着
when
还
she
好，
woke up, she's already
我
in
是说哈，
probably the man's
活着还
bed,
好，
or
有
and
很多人
Grandmaster,
是被
it
杀
would be
了，
good
或者
if
被
the girl
拉到
is
器
still
官了，
alive.
这个
Some people
这个
were
世界多
even
么
some
坏的
girls
人
were
都有，
even
但是多么
killed
善良
or
也都有，
even were
对不对？能把你
taking
活活
out some
弄走的，一般
organs.
都
In
不
this
好心，
world,
对
anything
不对？所以就
can
是说，
happen
但是
if
我的
they
经验就是
secretly
说，
try to take you
尤
away.
其是这种诅咒的
Yeah,
感
you
觉哈。
really need to be
如
careful.
果你不喜
So
欢他，
if you
他
do
给
not
你的
like
无论是
another
吃的、
person,
用的、
whether
玩
that
的，
person gives you
请不要
food
接
or
受。
uh,
如果这
anything,
人讨厌
do
你，
not
比如
accept
说，
anything from
我
that
就比如
person.
说，
If
在过去，
you do not
那
like
个
that
人心是
person,
歪
say for
的，
example, that
他呢
person
送我一杯水
is
喝，我一
not
喝我就
kind,
呛，
and if
我一
he
喝就
give me
呛，
water,
就不舒服，
I would choke. I
啊，
would feel
所以这个
uncomfortable.
就不行
And so this
啊，
is
你要
not
不要
good.
去接受？
So do
那
not
那个时候
take
就是碍
anything
于
from the
面子，
person.
好吧，我接受
Yeah,
吧，我们要学着
if
慈悲
you
啊。
just
我知
think,
道
oh
他
no,
不
I
好，
need
但是
to
说
be
我要学着慈
compassionate,
悲，
I will
别
accept,
让我太受罪了
but that will really make
啊。
me
那这个经
uncomfortable.
验呢，我也进行找过其他的
Actually,
修道的
I
人，
have
也了解过。那最后我
talked
的
to
总
other
结告诉大
cultivators
家就
about
是，
this
如果
experience,
你
and
不喜
my
欢他，或者你对他有所
conclusions that
顾
if
忌的
you
话，
do not like that
请不
person,
要
or
接
if
受他
you
任何
are
的
afraid of
东
that
西，
person, do not
也不
accept
要和他
anything
一
from that
起
person,
去聊
and
天
do
呐，
not
去
go
出
to
游啊，
chat
去
with
做
that
客之
person
类的
or
哈，
go
否
travel
则
with
你
that
会有危
person
险
or
的。
visit them.
请
Otherwise,
大家
it
记住。
can be
师
dangerous.
傅提醒，
Thank you, Grandmaster, for this reminder.
真的很悬
Oh
呐，
wow,
我觉得
so risky.
说虽然说是
Yeah,
爱情还挺高的
even
哈
though
但是
yeah,
为了爱
love
情就
is
不择
good,
手
but
段，
yeah,
而且
when
还都是用特别
because of
那
love,
个
then they
真的
use
是
any
千
like
万千万
they
不要这
they
样，就
use
是
any
你
means to
想跟
try
别
to
人
get
牵这个
love.
人
It
牵
never
抽
do
有
that.
的时候还用
We
这种
cannot
手段去
force
害
other
人，
people,
都会害
and
到自己。
especially using
这个
harmful
我刚才也
ways.
是
Yeah,
看到这个
and just
网上我
now
们有一位
I
是
also
宋前网友他留言也
saw
是，就
Song
说
Qian
好像
who
说他舅舅
posted
家的
online
这
on
个
a
女
live
儿
chat,
的
and
表姐吧，
his
去在服
uncle's
兵役的时候
child,
也是，就
his
是
cousin,
碰到了这
when
个
she
东马的
went
一
to
个就是
be
男土著男
yeah
友
in the
但是
military,
呢，就是他
and
并不是特别
she
他
saw
挺这
a
个女孩儿挺
local
喜欢
man.
的，但是呢，
The
家
girl
里的
liked the man, but
父母亲就不同
her
意嘛，
parents
所以这个女
didn't
孩就
agree,
提出
so
跟
the
这个男友
girl
分手，这个
said
是我们网
goodbye
友
to
自
the
己留
man.
言的哈。
And so this
结
is
果没
just
想到
posted
就
on the
是
live chat,
他的
and
这
then
个表姐就被人下了降
however,
精神失常了的，一直到
they
现在
put
的精
a
神
black
失常
magic on
真的多
this
可怕呀！真的
girl,
千万
and
千万
even
不要这
until
样。
now,
特别
this
是
girl
我
was
刚刚
is
讲的这
still
个
like
马大哥
mentally
的这个故事，
had
这个
mental
小马和
disorder.
张
Yeah.
姑娘的这个
So
悲剧吧，爱情
yeah,
悲剧，
so
还是
really
告
be
诉我们
careful.
像
This
用这
Xiao
种
Ma
卑
and
劣
Miss
的手
Zhang's
段想长久一段姻缘的话，
tragic
自己
story.
一定会遭天
So
谴，会受
remember
天的
that
惩
if you
罚。
try to use this kind of magic
所以
to
亲人
harm
朋友
other people, you
正
would
常恋爱啊，
definitely
求
be
而不得，
punished.
再
So
求别人去啊！
yeah,
千万
so
别这个
if you
用
love
这个叫
someone,
做
then
嘛，
you
不
can
要求来的时候
try
就
to
开始
attract,
一
yeah,
场
but
祸，就是这
yeah,
样。
just use the right way to do it.
就再还有
Otherwise,
一
you
个
never
故事
know
啊，
what
也
you
挺
will
悬
get.
的，
Yeah.
就是
So
讲到
another
这种，
story
就是
is
有个女孩
about
子
a
小圆
girl,
吧，
Xiao
还是
Yuan.
就是来跟我们写信说，
She
她有一个
wrote to
她
us.
妹妹，她的妹妹就
Her
叫小圆哈，
younger
那
sister is Xiao
给
Yuan,
我们写
actually.
信的是她姐姐，就是小圆啊，她说有好几次呢，
Quite a few times,
是
she
什么呢？
was
是被他们
possessed
村上的那个
by
邻居小伙伴附体了。
a childhood
这样子的，
friend
她
many
说其
times
实我们
when
家
she
原
was young.
先家里
So
有个邻居小伙伴，
she
这个
has
小伙伴
a neighboring child who passed away from leukemia when she was only 12 or 13 years old. And so it was once when her mother was taking her sister to work in the field, and the child's tomb was very close to the field. Her sister was a little kid, and so she would just do some work and then play around, and maybe the sister maybe passed that tomb, but when she came back, she suddenly started to you know, she suddenly lost all her strength and vision and had a headache, and she couldn't see with her eyes, and all the symptoms were exactly the same as that little child before she passed away. And she would also, you know, mumble something. And when her younger sister was possessed, several people came to help, but they couldn't even lift up the little sister. And so they don't have any way. So the mother and some neighbors would use like a piece of wood to carry her younger sister to the little child's home and say, "Okay, this is your home. Now go home. Don't follow us." And after they say that, so Xiao Yuan's sister would, you know, after the neighbor and her mom say that, then the sister would suddenly feel, you know, light, and she would suddenly woke up, and she would be able to walk herself, and it feels like a very heavy stone weighing 100 pounds had been removed, and she would be just back to normal. And then she could just live like normally or go to school. But ever since that first time, and then that happened the second time and the third time, and nobody knows when that little child would come back and possess her again. Nobody knows. And ever since Xiao Yuan's sister would suddenly, you know, got possessed, then her mother and the neighbors would have to carry her sister, go to that child's home and say, "Okay, this is your home. Go home now. Leave us and go home and don't follow us." And then Xiao Yuan's sister would go back to normal. Even the most healthy people, you know, cannot handle so many times of possession. And so her sister was always afraid of darkness, and even in the daytime was also fear. So after she graduated from the elementary school, she stopped going to school and went out of town to work. And she was so scared, and she didn't want to go home to her hometown, and she was afraid that her little kid would find her. We don't know what caused the little that child always possess her sister, and she was even a teenager. She was not even 20 years old. She got married very early, and she wanted to get married so she can have a man who can protect her. And so she and so this elder sister, because she is in the meditation center, so she offered many lights and purchased bead for her. And then after that, her younger sister get much better for quite a few years. The younger sister hasn't been possessed. However, after she had been possessed and be frightened, she was very weak. So when she was very weak, she would always have some terrible dreams. And in her dreams, she would see some deceased persons and have some, you know, because she was married, right? So the deceased mother-in-law and father-in-law would come to her dreams, and so she always feel very disturbed. And so this is a story about Xiao Yuan's sister get possessed. Now she would not be possessed, but she's still very weak. So, Grandmaster, so like for a person like her, because she had been possessed before, now she's very weak. What can she do? How can we help her so that she won't see, you know, some unfortunate things, or so Grandmaster says you can offer lights in front of Buddha, and so she also can practice energy Bagua, and her family members can chant for her and make merits for her and do good deeds, and so that will help
所以
her.
也是感恩师父为他
Okay,
为
thank
小
you,
圆妹妹也是
Grandmaster,
多指出一条可救之道了
to
啊。
guide
感谢
Xiao
我们
Yuan's
上集知
sister.
道的
Yeah,
要
we
做功
always
德
know that
还
we
有
need
练习
to
八卦增强自己的
to
元
make
气和
merits
能
and
量
also to
你的正
practice
气
energy
足了，
bagua
自然
to
那种
increase our
外面的
energy.
邪气
When we
就容
have
易靠自己
stronger
把你
positive
侵
energy,
犯
then
确
the
实
other
是这样。
energy will have less
大家越
opportunity to
听就
come
开
and
始也
disturb.
长了一些经验
And
了
so
啊。
after you hear
对，
this, then you
精彩
will
的还在
also
后头
learn the
啊。
knowledge.
我们请
And
昆
so
提
we
呢，
have
给大家带来一个小
other
白的故事啊。
好的，师傅。
a story. So let's invite
这个小白啊，
Kunti
他
to
是
share
韩
Xiao
国的
Bai
一位
story.
网
So
友哈，给我
Xiao
们
Bai
来
is
信
from
这个故事
Korea,
真的
and
是精彩吧，
her
也是
story
让人
is
心酸
quite
啊，听到的时候，他是想跟大家
interesting,
分享
but
一
also
个
very
他
sad.
持续6年
So
被鬼压身的故事。
she talked about
小白说呀，我的故事说来也
sleeping
话长，
paralysis for
我呢
over
是他
6
是在
years.
东北，小时候
And
在
so
东北出生长大的。
she said,
然后
Master,
他
she
有一
was
个弟弟，
born
他说他小的时候呀，
in
还
northeast
是身体
China,
很健
and
康啊，
when
没病没
he
灾
he
的。
was
可是他
he
这个
actually
弟弟
was born
从
in
小生
northeast
下来以
China,
后啊，
and
就
he
病
was
殃
a
殃的，
healthy
总
child,
是要
but
去医院。
his
那
younger
这个父
brother
母呢也是蛮担心的呀。
was
有一次啊，他弟弟
always
很
ill,
奇怪，
and so
就
his
是6、
parents
7
were
岁的时候，
worried.
他的弟弟
And
呀，
one
突
time,
然用一种非常粗犷
when
而且阴
his
森
younger
的声
sister was
音
only
说，
6 or 7
谁
years old, he
也不准关
suddenly
灯，
he
谁
he
也
said
不准睡觉。
nobody
哎呦，把父母
is
吓
allowed to
坏
turn
了，
off the
说
light.
这还
Nobody
是
is
我的
allowed
孩
to
子吗？
sleep.
然
And
后
his
就赶
parents
快
were
去请了
so
当地一个他们
shocked
比较有
and
名的一个算命
oh my
先生
gosh,
来。
how come he
算命
became
先
a
生呢
different
就给
person?
弟弟
So
做
they
了法，
find
做
a
法之后啊，算命
psychic,
先
and the
生就说，
psychic performed
哎，
some
你们家的
ritual
孩子
for
命里可能
his
还是
brother
缺
and
水，要不然
suggested
改
to
个名
change
字
his
吧，
name
把水给补上。
because his
父母就同意了。那这哥俩想着，兄弟
his
俩嘛，要
lack
改
of
名字就
water
一
in
起
his
改
in
了。
his faith,
这
and
哥
so
哥也
his
被改了
parents
名。
changed
这改了名
his
之后
younger
呢，弟
brother's
弟
name
确
and
实哎
also
慢慢
his
慢慢
name.
身体越
So
来越健
after
康了，也没有再
changing
有
the
那种
name, his
太
younger
可怕的身
brother
体的情况了。
actually
可是
gets
哥哥发
healthier and
现呀，这
healthier.
年头
However, the
他的
elder
身体开
brother,
始变得越来
his
越弱了，
health
而
became
且
worse
他
and
开始
worse.
能够看到
And
一些别人
also,
看不到的
he
东西。
started to send
啊，
things
他
that
就觉
ordinary
得自己
people
开始
could
有一
not
些鬼
see.
压身的
And
经
he
历。
started also to
他说刚开始
experience
有鬼
sleep
压身经历的
paralysis.
时候啊，出现的频率还不
At the
高，就一
beginning,
年差不
it
多
was
1-2
not
次。
very
还
frequent,
记得
only
哈，
1 or
记得
2
很清
times a
楚。第
year.
一次
And
就
the
是他
first
睡
time
觉，
when
睡
he
到
was
半夜里哈，
having the
突然
sleep
之间好像就
paralysis,
从梦
he
中醒
suddenly
来，
woke up
醒来之
from
后
a
呢，
very
他
deep
听见
sleep,
有拖
and he
鞋
could
的声
very
音，就
he
是好
could
像
hear
有拖
very
鞋在慢慢
clearly
向他走近，
somebody is
他
walking
他
toward him
他的声音。
wearing
然后
slippers,
突然
and
就
each
好像
step
有一个东
makes
西
a
把他的
sound
脖
like
子给
ta
掐
ta
住
ta.
了，
And
一下子
suddenly
就不
he
能动
felt
了，
like
然后也喊不
um,
出声
his
来，
neck was
他就使足
choked
了
and
全
he
身的力气，
couldn't
好不容易
move and
挣脱
couldn't
之
make a
后，他一看
sound,
表
and he
是
used
凌
all
晨
his
4点，
force to
大概
escape.
这是他第一次鬼压身。
And then he
后
saw
来
that it
过
was
了几
only
个月之
4
后
a.m.
呢，
in the morning.
又一次
And
晚
after
上，
a few
他那
months,
天晚上
also
回
it
来
was
比较
in
晚，他去打工嘛，
night,
回到
and
家都
he
差不多4点
worked
钟了，
very
然后也很
late
累了，迷迷糊糊的
overnight
躺在
shift,
床上，
and
衣
he
服
went
都
to
没
bed
脱，就
around
就
4
基本
a.m.
上就
and
好
then
像
he went
已
to
经快
bed.
睡着了。
It
这
was
时候他突然
already
听见有一个声音
and then he
说：“哎，小白。”
suddenly heard a man
他呢，当
calling
时也
his
糊里糊
name.
涂的，也
Hey,
半梦半醒的就
小
答
白。
应了一声，但没有
And
转
then
头看，他就说干嘛？
he
这回复完之
he
后，
was
他
very
突然意
sleepy
识到
and
这
tired,
房
so
子
he
里
just
除了
said,
我
"Oh,
一个
what's
人，
up?"
没有别的人
But
呢。
suddenly
这
he
个人
realized
就
that
心里
actually
开
in
始害
this
怕
room
了，
there's
拿被子
only
把头一
himself,
蒙，
and so he
然后
was
就
very
想着假
scared
装
and
我什
he
么也没看
did
见，
not
我是
make
没有
any
听
other
见，
sound
我
and
就赶
just
快睡觉
pretend
了。
nothing
这就是
happened.
他第二次鬼
And
压
so
身
that
鬼
was
压
his
身的
second
经历
time
啊。
of
这
sleep
之后呢，他
paralysis.
就会
And
经
then
常的会经历到。
there were
然
more
后小
sleep
白呢，他
paralysis
就
episodes,
发现他每一次鬼压身的时候，都
and
是
they
在
all
凌晨4到
happened
5点。
without any sign. And
过了几
around 4
年之后
4 or 5 a.m. So after, and then he went to South Korea to study, and his university is situated by the foot of a mountain. So his dormitory window faced the mountainside. And one day he went for a hike with his roommate, and then they approached the mountain. When they were approaching the mountaintop, they passed an unmarked grave. At the time, he said, "Oh, my apology, we're just passing by. Sorry to disturb you." But in both, and he said both in Korean and Mandarin. But that night he had sleep paralysis. Ever since then, he had sleep paralysis every day, and it got more and more severe every time. And there was one time during the sleep paralysis, he heard a woman's voice saying, and it was a very gloomy voice, "Oh, I will take you away." And he felt that this female ghost was actually putting chains on on his neck and dragging him, and he was dragged to the side rail and almost fell off the bed, and he was so scared and used all his strength to break free, and his heart came out of his mouth. He looked at the time, it was 4 a.m. He calmed down and tried to sleep. However, not long after, the ghost came back again, and this time he was laying flat on his back, and it tried to drag him from the top because he used up all his strength. He didn't have any energy left to struggle. He thought, oh no, this is the end. It's gonna take me away. And he felt his soul separating from his body. He saw, he can see that his body was sleeping on the bed, but his soul was sitting up. And then he saw that his neck was like pulling up. And when it tried to drag him again, the chain broke. And lucky him, his soul went back slowly to his body. And he said, actually, it felt extremely comfortable when his soul went back to his body and felt really settled. And then he thought, oh, maybe this dormitory had too many yin energy because at the back, it's the foot of the mountain. So after a year, he moved somewhere else. However, after moving out of the dormitory, this sleep paralysis didn't go away. And then he even had a skill, but this is not a skill that you would like to have. Whenever there's anything, not clean, then he would sense it. Whenever there's ghosts, he would sense it. And if he would have sleep paralysis, he would even be able to predict it. Like whenever he feels that his legs would have that convulsion, then he felt like flowing, then he know that night would definitely have a sleep paralysis. And of course, he need to survive. And when he know that he would have sleep paralysis, and he knows that sleep paralysis always happens at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., so he would have to stay up after that and sleep like 6 a.m. So it was really not easy. And when he worked in a student council in school, he get to know a sister from Bodhi meditation. And this sister heard about his experience and gave him a bracelet blessed by Grandmaster. And he wanted to ask for Grandmaster's help in person, but he never had an opportunity to meet Grandmaster. And when he get back home one day, in China, his parents heard about his experience and asked a psychic to do a ritual for him. Usually people will only need an hour or two, but the psychic actually worked a whole morning for him. So the sleep paralysis get less frequent, but it didn't completely go away. And then the sister suggested that, oh, do you want to come and work in Bodhi meditation? And he didn't even think and agreed right away. And so every day he would listen to Grandmaster's teachings. Well, that's actually part of his work, and he was touched by Grandmaster's teaching, and he wanted to chant, and every time when he chants, he would have tears. And he's already worked in Bodhi meditation for 2 years. Now he couldn't remember when his last sleep paralysis happened, so he's deeply grateful for Grandmaster for the opportunity and really helped him profoundly from that to escape from that terrible experience before. And Grandmaster said, oh, that's wonderful. Otherwise, we never know how long that sleep paralysis will last. And so Christine said, I've never heard that Xiao Bai actually always had that sleep paralysis, and he could even predict the sleep paralysis. And it's really, what a pity. He's still a very young man, and always encounter that. That's terrible. And that will definitely harm his health. As long, not only his health, even his life, right? We want to, along with Buddha, but he's always with the ghost, and he could even see a female ghost pulling him, and he saw his soul away from his body, and yeah, it's quite terrifying. He could even die because of that. Yeah, if he didn't write to us, nobody would know that he's struggling with ghosts, and if something happens, nobody would be able to see, right? That's really terrible. Yeah. And even we can see something, somebody can see, nobody can help him, right? So the practice of cultivation and practice and chanting and offering light is huge. Yeah, when he is working in Bodhi meditation, he's always, embraced by Buddha light and really helped him profoundly. And every day he's also helping other people. So the merits is protecting him too. And now he couldn't remember when he had the sleep paralysis before. Yeah, so this is really helpful. And when you encounter these kind of unfortunate things in your home or your office, so in addition to make merits and chanting, if you have some blessed gifts, if you can wear the blessed gift all the time, that will really help you. Yeah. So our bead and also the Vajra pestle, yeah, you can wear it as a pendant, yeah, and also maybe you can put a Buddha statue or the Mahākāla statue, or maybe a small Thangka of Mahākāla beside your bed. And yeah, so Grandmaster says if you're in a school, you don't know how your dormitory looks like, just in case there's anything unfortunate, then you can put these, yeah, maybe a smaller sized Mahākāla's Thangka maybe on your table or on your bedside table, and then that will help you tremendously. And this is especially for people who go to school or maybe on a business trip. So we have this Mahākāla's Thangka. It's actually the smaller size one would have similar protection and protect us to be away from those evil energy and evil qi. Oh, thank you, Grandmaster. You really care about all the details and care about all kinds of every group of people who need the protection. Before, we never know how that there could be so many people to share so many stories. Grandmaster says, everybody, you never know in your previous life what you have done and who you have harmed before. And now, yeah, because in this life you forget everything, yeah. And in this life, maybe unconsciously, maybe you didn't intentionally harm, but the person who heard that think that you're cursing him or bullying him or her, and then they would, yeah, maybe they think it's harming him or cursing them, so they would curse you, like Miss Zhang trying to harm Xiao Ma. So things like this could happen, right? So whether man or woman, young or old, right? Yeah, this Miss Zhang is a young girl. She could even have such a strong jealousy and harm other people. Okay, so. And these bracelets and these Vajra pestles. All right. So now we're talking about the blessed gifts, so I'll introduce. So this is natural, like the Vajra eyes, and so it's natural. And if you wear it, when the evil energy comes, it will prevent the evil energy to come. I don't know about the other Vajra eyes, but these are blessed ones. I think that they will give you some protection. And also the Vajra pestles, especially the bronze those ones. It's not very cheap, but at least it's compared to the terrible dreams. Having these Vajra pestilence will help you to avoid the evil energy to disturb you. I think, yeah, you just need to wear one bracelet, or like for one room, if you have that one Vajra pestle is enough. And also for those people who always need to have business trips or who need to go to school, so that's why we made these Tibetan Mahākāla Buddha ancient Thangka to bless those people who need to go away from home, and you can put the Mahākāla Buddha's Thangka in a frame, and then you can put it on the table facing your bed that will protect you. Wherever Mahākāla Buddha goes, all even ghosts and other deities, they will always protect the person that Mahākāla Buddha is protecting, whether it's the heavenly deities or ghosts or earth deities, yeah. And yeah, evil energy or evil spirit will not be able to come close. So remember, the Vajra pestle is not very cheap, but when it helps, it's not expensive at all. Our Vajra pestles and these bracelet, they are all protecting. Xiao Bai was always can sense the ghost. When you wear these blessed gifts, then these blessed gifts will tell you that be careful here or something. And for the Vajra pestle, if you wear it as a pendant, whichever side has stronger energy, the Vajra pestle will point to that direction. If I tell you, you might be frightened. Some people will put the Zi bead, will use gold and a diamond, and maybe use a necklace or put it as a ring. And then when there's bad energy, then it will either vibrate or maybe it has cold or feel cold or something. So yeah, so when you use these eyes as the bracelet, the eyes should facing out, do not face yourself. Yeah, so we should know how to do it. And so anybody might encounter this. So wherever you live or wherever you go, it's better for you to wear something like this. I have to explain again, I'm not trying to sell these, but when I see people who suffer so much from these, some people, those people who wrote to us, you still have the chance to write to us, but some people were even put to death, Yeah, a lot of people come to Bodhi meditation to learn energy Bagua. Yeah, now they're back to health. Those people who came first and then they left, maybe, nobody can help. But if you're always here trying to help people, then even the heaven or the deities would want to help you. So I hope you will stay here to do good things. So I've already introduced all these Dharma gift. So Mahārishi Bodhisattva's statue, his wisdom sword is even brighter than thousands of people, especially very effective for the people who are who couldn't escape from attached to some love. And also, when you make offerings to Mahārishi Bodhisattva, you will, you will be yeah, you will
在
get wisdom
东方极乐世界，
in
七
the
尊
Eastern
圣佛圣尊当中，
Pure Land.
其实
In the
文
seven
殊菩萨
Buddhas, actually,
是
Manjushri
燃灯古
Bodhisattva
佛第一，
is actually the
释迦
first
牟尼佛排第七，
Dipankara Buddha.
他有
Shakyamuni
三
for
世
is
是
the
释迦牟尼
seventh.
佛的老师啊。
Actually,
是这样
in
子的。
3
只
lives,
是在释迦
Manjushri
佛来
Bodhisattva
帮助
is
地球
the
众生这个
was
时代
the
的时候呢，
teacher of
文殊菩萨不放
Shakyamuni
心，
Bodhisattva.
就
When
化
Shakyamuni
成了是
Bodhisattva
随
come
行
to
弟子
help
的
sentient
感觉，
beings,
就是来
and
帮他的学生
Manjushri
释迦牟尼佛
Bodhisattva
的。所以
couldn't
在这里就提
just
醒大家哈，大家也
let
去
go, and so
恭敬
he
供奉
manifested
这个大智大慧
into
法力无
a
边的文殊菩
bodhisattva's
萨
form to
对，所
to
以在你
help
的房间呢，
Shakyamuni
这些都
Buddha.
是可以供在睡房的哈。
You can
反正持法
actually,
器的哈，
yeah,
还有
these
威猛像的这
statues,
些菩萨
when
形
they
象
have
都
the
可以供在
Dharma
卧房的
tools
哈，来保护
and
大家平
or
安吉
when they're
祥
in
哈
the restful expression, you can put these
所以
Buddha
我的
Bodhisattva
广告做
statues in
完
your
了哈。
bedroom, and they will protect you. Okay, that's all for my advertisement. Oh, really grateful for Grandmaster. Yeah, we today we had a lot of these black
叫文殊菩萨的慧剑来帮我们来斩一斩。
magic on the love, and so we
还
really
有更
need
恐怖的
these
那
wisdom
种不是
sword
像
to cut
啊
off
就是
these
有一位 就是 他是修
un
道家功法，
faith
但是不是正式出家的
righteous
道门
love.
弟子哈。
And so
找
there
我来
was a
纠正他的偏
Taoist
袒，他都
people.
要死了。
There's some
之前我跟
there
你们讲
used
过
to be
早
a
期跟我的
Taoist
昆提还不知
student.
道，那时
Yeah,
候没来。
Quinty
早
hasn't
期
come
的时候
out.
讲
I
啊，我
actually
以前
shared
应该
that
记
story
得
with
哈。
you.
就是有
Christine
一
and
位这
Joyce
个
might
小
know.
伙子呢，
There was a
他
young
是
man.
从中国的湖北
He was from
那
Hubei
到西藏
province.
找到我，
He came to
找到
Tibet
我
to
之后
find
呢，
me.
他就给我
And
讲
when
他的
he
传奇的
found
经
me,
历
he told
啊，
me
他跟一
his
位道教师傅学习。
legend or
道教
his
师傅
story.
修得多高，他不
He
知道。
followed a
反
Taoist
正说人有点
master.
病在这求
You
他，这
know,
个师傅他师傅
he
就帮
didn't
人，
know
还是有
what
效的。
this Taoist master's
他呢，
level
就
is, and when
带这个
people
师傅
get
好好
sick,
修
and so
父母亲带的
his
钱财礼
master
物
would be
来
able
拜
to
师，
help
就
him.
跟
So
道家
he
师傅
learned
学。
from this Taoist master.
有些东西呢，他是跨越了师傅的要求。他
Some
在
of
外
the
面买一
things
些书
he
来，
exceeded his
来跟着修。
master's
我们比如说吧，
requirements,
修
and
叫
he
他们
purchased some books and learned from
任
the
督二
books.
脉二脉打
Say,
通
for
啊，
example,
修大周天。
to
这个
get through all the
如果大
Rendu
周天打通，
meridians
比
and
如说练武
the
的话，立刻
the
就行了，
big
降龙十八掌就出来了。
circle.
他就
And
想
and
从
then
一招成名，
he wanted
快速
to
获得。
quickly
哎，他就
achieve
修，
that and
修了
become
之后呢，
famous, and so he
哎，
practiced according to
不
the
但没通，
instructions in the books.
还卡住了。
However,
一摸呢，觉得这个脖子挺不
he
舒服，
not
一摸
only
起个大包。
failed in
哦，
getting
哎，
all the
这找
meridians
师傅问
smooth,
这怎么
he
弄？师傅
actually
说你
got
怎么
stuck
修的？
there,
我
and
不
there
教
was a
你修
big
这个，你
bump
怎么出
there.
这个
And
问题
his
呢？
master said,
他就吓得
"What did he
不
do?
说
What
话
did
了，
you do?
完了
I
先
didn't
躲起来，
ask you to
不
do
见师
this."
傅。
And so he
他
got
说
very
我也
scared,
是有
and
悟性
he
的，我道
tried
的修，
to
到时候
hide
把
away
前面
from
给
his
堵住了。
master. And then he tried to
哎，
do
他给我演示了一
the
下，
front,
他
and
那样
so
用功的时候，
when he was
按照
using
他那个
the
书
kung
上看
fu
到的口诀，
and
这里
use the
立刻鼓起一
the
个比锤子
mantra
还
in the
大的一
book,
个包，
and
用手
and
按
very
按不动，他
quickly
一
there
按
will
按不
be
动，
a big lump
硬气功算
like an
啥？他就根本
apple,
按不动。
and it's
你
so
说不难受
hard,
吗？
and it's
这些还是
like
小事。
yeah, and that was not the
每
biggest
一
trouble
天
for
晚
him.
上
And every
有一
night
个女鬼，
there's a female
天
ghost
天陪着他。
sleep
睡。
with him
每天一个
every
女鬼
single
回来
night.
陪他睡觉。
Every single night there's a
吓人。
female ghost.
所以
Isn't
这
that
些东西
scary?
就是你不可以
And so
乱练啊！
you
哎要
cannot
好
just
好修，
practice
这是
anything.
这叫人之
Yeah.
情未了。就是你
So
不可以贪功。
You
有
cannot
师
be
傅，师傅
greedy
教
for
啥你
kung
练
fu.
啥，你
So
自己
whatever
自
your
作聪明，
master teach
自
you,
创功
if
法，
you try
你离
to
死就很近
create
了哈。
something and
所以一定
practice
要听
something
话，
that
照办。这些东西
by
啊是你
yourself,
看不
then
见的。
it can bring
你
you
看金庸
trouble.
小说之
You know,
中，你就是练武术，
in Jin Yong's
你求
novel,
快速得
even
功，对不
if you
对？
just
都一
practice
样图
martial
片。
arts, if you want
是
to
不是啊？
get fast
把
results,
手
you
当
could
脚使，对
even
不对？
yeah,
你说那一个
like
人这样
you
的不就
try
是
to
疯子吗？
use the
你怎
hand
么
as
生
your
活呀？
feet,
就这
then
个还是
yeah,
自己的念头
that can cause trouble for you.
还
Yeah,
都是贪
it's
嘛。
all because
所以
of
有很多
greed.
有 贪财的、贪色的，还有贪功
people
的，
who
还
are
有贪
greedy
成就
for
的，
money,
对不对？
for
还
lust,
有
or
贪杀
for
伤力的。
for kung fu
所以
and
越贪
for
越不得
some
呀。
kind of
这
skills
个
or
所以要
force. So
小
the
心
more
哈。所以
greedy,
修法一定要小心。
the more trouble you
那么
might
之
have.
前
So
跟
you
我
need to
修
be
的有些
careful.
人贪贪贪，
And some
说
people
外面
learn
走了
from
圈
me
之后
and
还得滚回来，跟
they
你修。
they're too greedy,
这还是
wanted
最
to
实惠、
learn
最安全
something
的。
elsewhere,
为
and
啥
then
在后
eventually
面
they came
外面
back
去学第一个
because
学不到，
when they go
那还
out
算
they
不
couldn't
偏呐。
learn
关键学歪了之后，
anything
他就
real.
没办法了，
And
没人纠正得了。
however, it was
所
good
以
that
的话，
he
大家
didn't
修
learn
法
something
哈，你
evil.
要去
So
拜那个师，
and
学
nobody
那个
can
艺。
help. So if you want to learn some
天
skills,
地间诸神都在看着你，
actually
你一
all
个誓
the
言发出去， 自己可以忘掉
divinities are
它，
looking at
但
you.
是天神
Maybe
会
you
记住
made
你。
a vow, but you may
啊，对
already
不对？
forget it,
你
but
背
the
信弃义，
deities has
走
already
向邪
remembered
门，
you. If you betray
那想
and go to an evil
天地间的
school,
鬼神
then
会对你怎样呢？
all the
所以要小心 啊。
celebrities,
叫
all the
离死不远。
deities and the divinities
所以
will,
凡是菩提法
what would
门
they do to you,
啊，
right?
是
You can
拜
imagine.
师，在
So
我这里
in
拜师傅
Bodhi
哈，
school,
成为弟
if
子者，
you
必
take
须
refuge
执行
in me and become my
头提的
disciple,
戒律，
you definitely need
否
to
则
abide
后果
by
自负。
the precepts.
不让做
Otherwise,
你
you
千
have
万不要
to
做。
take the consequence. If I
好，我这是很严肃地
didn't
提醒大
tell
家
you to do,
因为
then
这些鬼神
never
的
do
伤
it
害，很多
because
根本就是自
the
招的。
harm from
你可能问他
those
为什么会
ghosts
出
or
现这样的
evil
问题？
spirits, they actually
按照佛的解释，
were
都是你
caused
自己
by
招来的。
yourself, right?
都是你
It's
自己
all
惹的。
cause and
我刚才
consequence.
说那小道士不一样吗？
That
对不对？觉得哎呀，师傅你
Taoist
教我太
person,
慢了，我
he
还不能
said,
获得大法。
oh
我这
no,
出去买上几
Master
本
teach
书
me
吧，
too
一说都是
slowly.
超
So
级
he
大师
wanted
写
to
的。
get quick
我告诉
results
你，
and
秘
he
密的
purchased
法
some
能一
books.
印成10块钱一本书，
How
让你一下
can
就成天
secret
得到了吗？
Dharma be
那
printed
成天
on a
得到也
$10
太
book?
便宜了吧？
Then that would be too cheap,
你没有
right?
经历那样一种
If
极
you
度苦
haven't
难的过程，你怎么能得
experienced
到？花10块钱能得到？不可能的，
torture, then
啥也得
how
不到，
can you
啥也
get
得不到，一场空的
that
好事。
extreme
关于得到的是一种
highest
孽缘。
level of
恶果。
Dharma, right? You
求
might
神没有，
get
求鬼倒是来
maybe
了。
bad results. You
是
you
没
want
求鬼，
to
鬼也来了，这是
become
最恐怖的。
the
找你
highest
自有
level,
找
but
你的
then
原因。
maybe you attract the ghosts or
就是这
evil
样哈。
energy.
所
Yeah.
以我就警告
So
凡
I
是
warn
拜师
all
的
of
菩提弟子
you,
们，
my
你要
disciples, Bodhi
小心了。
disciples, you need to be careful,
哎
okay?
鬼要找上你的话，
If
不像我
ghosts
这么温
come
和哈，
to catch
一定
you,
会有
I
你好
they
受的
won't
哈。
be
所以
as
你要好
gentle
好
as
做人
me.
啊，
Yeah,
别
so
耍那
be
些
a good
狡猾的那
person.
些混蛋的
Don't
思维行为啊，
try
好
to
好做
be
人做事，
cunning and be a
否
good
则
person.
麻烦大了。
Otherwise,
那么接
you
下
have
来，
trouble.
我想呢和大家一
Okay,
起呢
next, I
念佛
would
祈
like
福
to
啊，为我们了
chant
啊
with all
前
of
七
you
世
and
一切
pray.
恩恩
So,
怨怨，
to
Ah.
clear away all
消
the
灾
grudges
灭
and
消
karmas
除
from all
是请佛菩
past
萨，
7 lives.
请师傅
We pray for
帮我们
Buddhas,
消除
Bodhisattvas,
我们
and my
这
Master
个前七
to
世之中
clear
所犯的一切
all
的
the
过错
bad things
啊，
and
用忏
mistakes
悔
that we
加
did
恭
in
敬
our
之心，
previous 7
忏悔
lives.
自己
So
所
we
作所
need
为
to
的错
chant with
误
repentance
啊，
and
恭敬
respect,
佛菩萨来帮助我们
repent for
消
all
灾
the
灭
wrong
难，
things that we do,
这
and
些
pray
邪
for
气
Buddhas,
才不会
Bodhisattvas
来找我们。
to eliminate our bad karma,
接下
so
来
the
大
evil
家
energy will be away from us, will
啊
be far, far away from us.
哦，名单要读啊，
We
今
need
天
to
我们还
read
会
the names.
就是火化
So
烧毁一批
Today we
求
will
救者的名单哈，
also
那决定来读吧。
write the
感恩师父。
names,
那我读
read
到
the
的这些
names of
名字
these
呢，都祈
people.
请师父加持
So
啊。
I will
之
read
前
these names and pray for
赵
Grandmaster to
炳尧
bless these
李
people.
宇哲、任昭业、王子君、周雨辰、牛雨兴、郭子玉、石成凯、某某某小学全体4·2班的学生 LJY、陈丽珍、谢平稳、李钟奎、金莲花、张健、张浩哲、赵红霞、邓川涛、通鹤、匡仁凤、邹本江、张信、张润琪、孙永健、孙迎珍、孙安宁、邹钦佳、谭进、林作海、王书玉、韦偏、雅凯、程中南、王子玉、程浩月、 徐成平、徐成行、刘在玉、陈雨露、何颂、曾瑞英、谭凯元、谢天利、莫军、莫爱义、谭玉明、叶芳、修江、唐金贵、沧霭、Emma， 还有 Emma 的三舅舅、柴永坤、仪真的先生、顿敏、左俊发、杜沃、法明、杨醉、巫义明、广泽、赵秋英、易潇、易敏、超敏、李晶、张小怀、穆韶、菊娜、宣崇、怡娜、朱涵珍、刘昌莲、翁蕾娜、金太阳、阿吉、快丽燕的姐姐、卷学的表姐、红霞、聂欣、陈荣瑞、向清。看一下还有没有。好，那现在就统计到这么多，师傅。
I think
好，
好。
再有我们还会加上。
up till now, that's
一会儿念
all.
佛后呢，我们画的这个
After
纸，
the
这个
chanting, we
意
will
思不
burn
是
all
光烧这个
these
纸，
papers.
希望
It's not just
帮
burning the
你有
paper.
所
We
求的
hope
这个
that
网友朋友呢，
all those
能帮
online
你
friends who
消解
are
掉
asking for
你
help,
目
we
前
hope
的
that
这些
we
障碍。
can remove
无论
all
是
the
这个
obstacles that
鬼
you
界好，
have, whether
还
it's
是
evil
你告诉我们的你的
ghost
烦恼
or
也
evil
好，
energy
让
or
把这
your
件事消化掉，
you know
不再
afflictions.
困
We
扰
hope
你，
that this
让你
is
得
not
到
going to
平安、
afflict you
吉
anymore.
祥、
So you
如
will
意、
have
健康的生活。
auspicious
这是我的意
and
愿
wish
啊。
fulfillment life.
那么
And so
我们就先念佛吧。
all right,
啊，
so let's
小灾灭难啊，
chant first
用
to
恭敬之心
remove all
啊
the
来诵念。我们开始。
disasters, and with the most respectful heart and repentance, let's chant.
天塔红被看见，被看见，马哈被看见，人在沙漠，嘎对梭哈，天塔红被看见，被看见，马哈被看见，人在沙漠，嘎对梭哈，天塔红被看见，被看见，马哈被看见，人在沙漠，嘎对梭哈，天塔红被看见，被看见，马哈被看见，人在沙漠，嘎对梭哈，天塔红被看见，被看见，马哈被看见，人在沙漠，嘎对梭哈，天塔红被看见，被看见，
Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Mahākāla Lanta Samu Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong 제 백한제 마하백한제 런자사무 가데소하 dien타 홍백한제 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 백한제 마하백한제 런자사무 가데소하 电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩嘎对梭哈电塔吽贝堪则贝堪则玛哈贝堪则兰扎萨摩 Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha Bê Khan Tse Lan Tsa Sa Mo Agate Soha Điện Tha Hong Bê Khan Tse Bê Khan Tse Maha 베칸제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸제 베칸제 마하 베칸제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸제 베칸제 마하 베칸제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸 제 베칸 제 마하 베칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸 제 베칸 제 마하 베칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸 제 베칸 제 마하 베칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸 제 베칸 제 마하 베칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베칸 제 베칸 제 마하 베칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베 칸 제 베 칸 제 마하 베 칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베 칸 제 베 칸 제 마하 베 칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베 칸 제 베 칸 제 마하 베 칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 홍 베 칸 제 베 칸 제 마하 베 칸 제 런자 사모 가데소하 띠엔 타 空被看见，被看见，马哈被看见，乱在沙漠，卡对梭哈，天堂。
大家恭敬合十，感恩。
Now put your
感恩
hands
佛菩萨，
together and with respect
为我
and
们消除
gratitude.
一切罪业，
Gratitude to Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to eliminate all
去
our
解
bad
救一
karmas,
切冤亲债主，
um,
往生东
to
方
help
或西
all
方
karmic
琉璃
predators
世界，
either to the Eastern Pure Land
受
or
苦，
Western Pure Land so
不在
that they
人
will
间
not
折磨
suffer,
人，
they will not
消除他的怨气。
harm other people in the human realm, and
好，
get
我们
rid of
在
all those
诵念的过
grudges.
程之中哈，我们的热情的网友啊，
So
还
when we
有
were
传来了
chanting,
很多的需
our
要
online
祝福保佑
friends
的名字
sent
哈，
a lot
就
of
请你来读一
names
下
that
啊。
needs help
感恩师
and
父有
blessings.
曾丽君、
So Joyce, you
金
can
惠
read
勇、
it.
顿彩、丹去、黄超、金月莲的邻居、香波、昂 Meta、范巧、韩梦金、妙智、云丽、妙度、妙成、张平丽、Linda S、林星、顾玉红、洪淑娜、邱丽君、杨勇、齐花、李俊珠、查理王，还有他的朋友姓徐的蔡成汉、金兰、王艳秋、恩坤洪、齐京、庆内，还有韩国的很多网友，李明秀、有帆、李太郎、宜川、有文、有凯、李俊峰、王岩、张金凤、赵秀燕、果花、慧归、陆占云、张艳华、蓝韶、矮卓、黄宇博、崔丽华、马一珍、韩一山、崔莹丽、崔金明、郑用、何薇薇、崔安京、易存、矮墨、何月、李云峰、真堂、蓝妙、冯秀兰、冯瑜、彭秀兰、邵淑梅、吕鹤、全红花、矮象、果心、有昌、有商、金淼、杜丽梅、怡喜、刘丽丽、朴秀焕、蓝连昭、王银翠、严麦、果望的妈妈、千民洲、矮龟、金钟书、金哲顺、吴一书、兰科、怡娜、修义、法阳、旭桃、龙芝、许凤仙、许凤花、果晶、阿如娜、红格尔、果凡、金美丽、金子英、江玉石、张雨绮、李涵、段佩林、云玉、果日。印尼的还有 Lori、Susan。好，等一下，韩国还有同法、会社、同度。好，感恩师父，感恩师父加持。
Thank you,
太
Grandmaster.
是有幸了
Thank
哈
you,
今天读
Grandmaster,
到
for
名字
your
的这些网友
blessings. Wow, you're so lucky in such an auspicious opportunity. So all these grudges can be
从今天起
removed,
呢
and，all
就是
these
我会
bad karma
呃
can
每天
be
也会
taken
为
away.
大家祈福
And
啊，
Grandmaster says,
这些天也是每
from
天晚上
today
为大家
on,
加持
I
啊。
will
对，
chant
也
for
提
you
醒
all. Actually,
大
these
慈大
days
悲
I'm
药师
always
佛
blessing everyone.
啊
Every night
和
I'm
东方极乐
blessing
世界一
everyone.
切
I
诸
pray
神
for
啊，天地间
Medicine
一切
Buddha
护
and
法
all
诸
the
神
deities
来
in the
帮大
Eastern
家
Lapis
这个
Lazuli
消
world
灾
and all
灭难
deities
啊，
to help
安心安睡啊。
everyone
对，
to
让
eliminate
我
your
们这个人
disasters
生哈变得更
so
加
that
幸
you
福吉
can
祥啊。
sleep
那么
soundly,
前面
sleep
讲了那么
safely,
多
and
都是
our
些
life can be
看似有点可怕的，
fortunate
对
and
对
auspicious.
对，有没
And
有稍稍觉
so
得听着
we
也有
talked
这个事儿，
about
但是
a lot of
感觉还
stories
算
that are a
比较
little bit
好一点
scary,
有
right?
吗？
Are there any stories that actually they have these things, but it doesn't sound so scary? So Christine said, yeah. We actually have a friend, Xiao Yuan. With Grandmaster's help, he actually, things get better. So it happened in 2012. At the time, he just started to come to Bodhi meditation, but hasn't become Grandmaster's disciple. And he picked up a magazine with Grandmaster, and when he got home, he very respectfully put the magazine on the table, and then just regularly, eat and sleep. And that night, he had a very terrible dream, and in the dream, there were 7 men dressed in black jumped in from the window, and those men were all like very, very masculine, and they have many different kind of weapons, like sharp weapons with swords and axes, and as if they all came to kill him. And just at that time, and he felt like he wanted to move, but he couldn't move at all, and only his eyes can move. Well, the eyes cannot, that doesn't work, that doesn't help. At this critical moment, and he said, oh, he just saw a master was wearing Buddhist robe and put his hand on his heart, and all of a sudden he was able to breathe, and his body was able to move a little bit. And then he saw that master had red halo around his head, and his body was shining golden light. And then this master looked back at those 7 men, and right after the master looked at them, the 7 men jumped out immediately. Right after the master looked at them, oh my gosh, Joyce said, oh, what kind of gaze is that, right? Must be like firing light. And then at that time, he woke up, he was able to move, and then his body can move. And then he thought, oh wow, this master saved him. And he thought, oh, he's very grateful, but didn't know who to, send the gratitude to. And he was just thinking of that 7 men and black men, and then that master, who is that master wearing the golden Buddhist light and was shining golden light and had the red halo? And so he got up and he went to the living room, and suddenly he saw the magazine, and Grandmaster's picture was right on the cover of the magazine. Oh, that's exactly the master who saved him. And it was the red halo and was shining golden light. That's Grandmaster JinBodhi. And so he immediately came to Bodhi meditation. Wow. Yeah, even at the beginning, Grandmaster saved him. Yeah, Grandmaster drive away all those 7 men with the sharp weapons. They were all coming to take his life. Wow, lucky Xiao Dong.
这个太好了
Yeah.
哈。
Oh my gosh,
哎
Grandmaster said that's really
还
good.
有呢？
Oh,
好
Grandmaster,
好
we
我们
still have
听一
more
听
stories. And Joy said,
马来西亚交来禅堂
so
的
this is from
师兄哈，
Brother Chen from Malaysia, Zhao Lai Center, and that's what he experienced before, and how Grandmaster helped his second sister
所以说哈，这个优秀的二
to
姐遭人
get
嫉
rid
妒
of
和
the
下
black
降头
magic. So,
30
dear
年
Master,
前
speaking
我
about
的
black
二姐
magic,
非常优
uh,
秀，凭着她
I
的
have to
聪
share
明
my
能干
experience.
和
So
出色的
30 years
能力
ago,
呢，
I had
得
an
到了
amazing
老板的
sister.
赏识，
She
也
was
得到
smart,
了
capable,
提拔
and
和升职的
excelled
机
at
会。
work. So
但
her
不
boss
幸的
gave
是
her a
呢，
raise
她的
and
升职遭
promoted
到
her.
别人的嫉妒，
Unfortunately,
小人
people
从
were
中作
jealous
梗，
of her
被她
promotion.
下了降头。
Someone cursed her with
从
black
此，
magic.
二姐从一个聪明能干
Ever
的
since
正
then,
常
she
人，
lost her
变成了
mind
一个
and she
精
was
神
no
错
longer
乱的
smart
病
and
人。
capable. She
由于
was
不能
not
正
fit
常
to
工作，老
work.
板也
She
讨厌她
was
鱿鱼。
like a
当时我们
patient
家人并不知道二
with
姐的遭
disordered
遇。
mind, and
3个
her
月以
boss
后，当我
fired
们
her.
家人找到
The
她的时
time we
候，
didn't know
她
about
躲
her
在一栋
experience.
楼
When we
的
found
楼
her 3
梯
months
下面的
later,
角
she
落
was
里，
hiding
神志不
in a
清，已
place
经都不
beneath
认
a
识人了，
stairwell
样子
in a
非常的
building,
可
and
怜。
her mind was unclear
啊，
and didn't
然
know
后这
who
二
we
姐
were.
疯疯癫癫
And
30
it-
年的生活啊，我们听一下。
So let's listen
大
to
轮把二
30
姐带回
years
家
of
之后
her
呢，她经常趁
life.
家人没注意，
Um,
偷偷跑去附近的
After we
咖啡
brought her
店，
home,
拿
she
别人
always
喝剩
tried
的
to
咖
run
啡来
away
喝，
when we were
还用手抓
not
别人的
paying
剩饭来
attention,
吃，
and
有时
she
候
would
还会蹲
run
在
to
地上
nearby
捡
coffee
垃圾
shops,
吃。
drank
她的行为
like
令很多人
leftover
反感。
coffee and
啊，那
eat
些人就拿
leftover
东西
food,
打
and
她，
sometimes
并
she
把她
would
驱
eat
赶。
garbage.
当二
People
姐
disliked her
带回家
behavior,
后
so
呢，
they
她也
threw
不认
things
识
at
家
her
人，
and
还
drove
会
her
打
away.
家人、
When
骂
we
家
took
人，
her
还说
home,
粗
she
话。
didn't know who we
二姐
were,
本来
and
不
so
会
she
讲
would
印度
hit
语的，
us and
但
scold
是
us and
疯
swear.
癫中的二姐
Before,
竟然会
she
用
didn't
印度语
speak
讲粗
Hindu,
话骂
but
人，
now she
非常奇
spoke
怪。
and swear in
二姐
Hindu.
这个
That's
天
very
赋的状态
weird.
啊，让家人操
And
碎了心，
um,
家人也害怕她。
so
二
everyone
姐
was
就这
worried
样
about
疯
her
疯
and
癫
scared
癫
of
地
her
度
at
过
the
了
same
30
time.
年了。
She was
我
always
和
in
家
that
人
mad
都有到
state,
处去寻
and
找
um,
解降的
so
方
she's
法，
been living
去
with
解开这个
insanity for
降头
over
的方法，
30
可惜
years.
都
Our
徒劳
family
无
was
功。
tried to
因为
find
我们
ways to
怕二
break
姐
the
伤
black
害到
magic,
父
but
母，
nothing
后来
worked.
就把二姐送到了医院。
We were
在
worried
医院
about
里呢，
my
二
sister
姐
might
也是
harm
乱扔东
my
西、
parents,
脱
so
衣服，
we
完全没
sent
有
her
理
to a
智。
hospital.
没
In the
办法，
hospital,
医院给
she
她穿
threw
了一
other
种特
people's
殊的衣
things
服，把
around
她
and
束
took
缚
off
起
her
来。
clothes.
现在想想
She
我都
was
是很心
completely
痛的。
out of her mind. The hospital had to give her
好，
constrained
到
clothing.
真心念佛
It's
啊，
even
师父
painful
和
to
佛菩
just
萨
think
也
of
救了
that.
二姐。在
And
2016年的时候呢，我认识
in
了菩提禅修。
2016,
我
I
真
came
心
to
希
Bodhi
望佛菩萨和
meditation.
师父
I
能够
sincerely
帮助
wish
到
that
二姐。
Buddha,
有
Bodhisattva,
一
and
天，
Grandmaster
我在
can
娇
help
兰
my
娇来禅堂
sister.
药师殿参加晚间
One
共
day,
修念
I
佛。
was at an
就在我
evening
真诚
chanting
的
group
念佛中，
practice in the
我
Medicine
仿
Buddha
佛
Hall.
看到师
During
父
my
从
sincere
外面走
chanting,
进药
I
师
had a
殿。
vision.
师父
I
向
saw
我招
Grandmaster
手，
coming
我就走
into
向
the
了师
Medicine
父。
Buddha Hall.
师父问我：
Grandmaster
你是不是
waved
很
at
爱
me,
你
so
二
I
姐啊？
walked
我
toward
不假
him.
思索地回答：
Grandmaster
是。
asked,
我
Do you
当时
really
真
love
诚
your
地
sister?
请求
I
师
didn't
父
think
救
and
救二
asked
姐。
yes.
随
Then
后
I
呢，师
sincerely
父帮
asked
助我
Grandmaster to
继续念
rescue
佛。
my sister. Grandmaster said I should
不一会
continue
儿，
to chant.
师父让我看到一个场
A
景，
moment later,
我看
Grandmaster
到
showed me a
药师
vision.
佛
I
正
saw
在
that
救二姐。
Medicine Buddha
我
was
当时闭着
rescuing
眼
my
睛，
sister.
但是我却看到
My
二
eyes
姐
were
正睡在
closed,
床上，
but I saw
药师
my
佛
sister
就坐在
laying
二
on a
姐床
bed.
前的虚空
Medicine
中。
Buddha was
药师佛
sitting
跟前儿竟然
there
站着3个
in the
小
air
鬼。
above my sister's
这时
head.
候，药师佛对
There
我说
were three lowly demons standing in front of the Medicine Buddha. Then Medicine Buddha said to me, I have removed all the 3 demons from your sister.
当时我看到我二姐
And then
在
Grandmaster
前
took my
在
hand to
前方
another
没有
space.
目的地走着，
I saw my
身边
sister
有2个黑
walking walking aimlessly. There were two shadows holding her hands on either side. Fire burned fiercely on both sides of the road, but the road in front of her was very dark. At this time, Grandmaster said to me, "Go, bring your sister back now." I immediately yelled, "Sister!" My sister turned around. When I look at her, she was looked like when she was very young, and she responded, "Brother, why are you here?" I said, I'm here to bring you home. My sister immediately said, all right. At this moment, the two shadows let her go, and I immediately took my sister home. That day, I finished the chanting group practice in these amazing visions. So the last paragraph was about how her sister was saved. It's a miracle happened the next day after the chanting group practice. The hospital called me and said, your sister is now, normal. You can take her home. My family was stunned, but we were all doubting about it. And my family urged me not to bring my sister home because they were still worried that she might harm my parents. But no matter what, we went to visit her in the hospital. When we arrived at the hospital, my sister was chatting with other people happily in her room. And she saw me and she said, oh, brother, you come. And she recognized me and she was very happy. And when we brought her home, she asked my mom, do you want, the rice rolls with the pork? I'll go and get it for you. The entire family was stunned. How did she suddenly regain consciousness after 30 years of insanity? And they couldn't believe it and wondered whether it is real. As it turned out, it is real. My sister had been normal ever since. It's incredible. Therefore, I'm sincerely grateful for Grandmaster JinBodhi and the Compassionate Medicine Buddha for rescuing my sister. As her 30 years of insanity ended, she can now live the rest of her life peacefully. Thank you, Grandmaster. The only curious thing is that my sister doesn't remember anything from the past 30 years. Oh, we're so touched to hear this story. 30 years. Any family with someone in the family who's in insanity would be really, really sad. Yeah. How can there be so bad people to put that the black magic on him? So, so this is not an illness, this is a black magic. So this is just evil energy. Just think about it. She was insanity for 30 years, but she didn't know about it at all because that was not her who lived those 30 years. It was her soul who had been hiding by some other people. There was another evil spirit entered her body and was torturing her. But she wasted 30 years and was tortured for 30 years. It was so wonderful that Grandmaster and Medicine Buddha saved her, rescued her, so the rest of her life she could live a normal life. So after this, she needed to chant more and do more good deeds. For 30 years, she had this experience. What a pity. But why she had that, it's it's a cause and consequence too. So when I look at her, it was a very, a female ghost who was doing that. And so now it's time for her to get back and learn Dharma to become another person, a very kind and compassionate person. So her future would be more beautiful. Thank you, Grandmaster. Wow, today we said so many stories. That's all from our online friends who shared their stories, their personal experience. And what a pity. This friend's sister wasted 30 years. So a lot of our online friends was asking, what can help us to protect us? So we heard so many stories today. And, you don't love other people. And if other people love you, or if you are beautiful, or if you have good business, or if you are smart, then there could be other people who put this black magic on you. So is there a force or any
邪恶的这种
你说的这个
power
是
that
啊
can protect
你说
us
你说你长得好，
to be away
工
from
作
this?
能力强，
And
我
so
的业
if
绩
you
比
have
较
good
好，我的
appearance,
收入
or
比
if
较
you are
高，
very
领导比
capable,
较
if
重
you
视
have
我，
good
是
income,
不是
or
啊？
your
读书成绩好，
boss
我都被
promote
嫉
you,
妒。
or if you
这个是
study
人之
well,
常
then
情。
you will be jealous.
但是
This
被
is
嫉妒
normal.
之后，
But
有
if
人
you
有这
were
个能力能够去
if
琢磨你，
you somebody
这
get
个
jealous and
这
then
个
they
降
have
头
that
不是每个人都
ability
接受
to put the black magic on you. Not everybody
的人
were are able
中
to.
不了。
Some people
有些
won't
人叫刀枪不入，
won't
知道吗？
那要
catch that
成为这样的人
black
佛菩萨
magic.
护体啊，
Some people, yeah,
就是内
if
心
they
纯净
have the
慈悲的
protection
人。
from Buddha, Bodhisattva, if
哎
their
你
heart
想
is
那个你是
pure
知
and
名的一个大
compassionate.
师，你想多少人嫉妒你？
Yeah, so if
你
you
稍
are
稍
a
别
master,
说
how
一
many
个知
people
名
would
的
be
演
jealous
员
of
了
you?
哈，一个知名的
Let
政
alone
客，
any
你知道你看你在企
celebrities
业
like
工作
actress
之
or
中，
politicians.
有些同
If
事就嫉妒
in
你。
your company
这
some
种事
people
情
are
都是每
jealous
个
of
人都
you,
发生的
this
事，
can
对不
happen
对？
everywhere
并不是每个人都能中
and
这
on
个招，
anybody. Not everybody
有被诅
will
咒
be
啊，被下
cursed
降头，
or
有可能
cast
下吧
such a
没用，
spell, but sometimes
老
it's
子刀
useless.
枪不入，
Yeah, even
没
if
用
they
的，
put the black
知
magic,
道吗？
then
就
it
是
won't
你那
hurt.
一身
So
应该
if
最终那个恶鬼看到他的就是
yeah, when the
呀，
evil spirit
太阳的光都
see
超过10
this
万
person,
倍。
you would just see,
别说
oh,
我
it's
去
all
整他
light,
了，他就把我给
illumination,
烧
even
死了，
brighter
融
than
化了。
like
哎，我怎么整他？
100,000
今天说
times
我找个人
brighter
来
than
修
the
理你，
sun.
对不对？
Like say
我
if
是个
I
绝
ask
世高手，
somebody
我那
to
个
put
手啊，
a curse on
比
you
机
or
关
spell
枪
on
都
you,
厉害。一个挥手
maybe
你全身都是洞，就弄死你了。
if
那
my
你怎么
hand
靠近他，
has
对不对？
uh
它
yeah
能量不一样。
yeah so the
那么他
energy
们
is
调动的都
different.
是什么东西啊？
So what
你想
they
他调动来害
the
你的是什么？
power they try to
好，看
use
你。
to harm you, what kind of power or
来害
energy
人
they're
的，
trying to use
邪魔类
to
的
harm
都是
people.
低级的东西。
Those are all
这个鬼
low
带着
level,
一个
like
邪
low
的一些
class,
什么
like
虫子呀，
evil
五
or
谷之中得
demon
是虫
or
子啊，
对
对吧？
demonic
再
or
就像我们中国
or
东北有
worms
个
or
长线儿
in
那蛇
northeast
呀，
China or
啊，
maybe
猫头鹰啊，啊，
snakes
什
or
么这个黄皮子呀，就
you
是小
know
野兽，
yeah
对吧？
so some
对，
small
它从级别
animals
来说，它是不
and
够那么
so
高。
they're not like
它
very
能整
high
你，这个邪
level.
气能整你的话，那你
or
的身
owls
体就比较弱了。
And if the evil
那如
energy
果
can torture
你
you,
有
it must be
佛菩
your
萨
your
啊，这
energy
种
is very
慈悲
weak.
金
If
光
you
金
have
刚护体的时
Buddhas,
候，
Bodhisattvas,
你就还
golden
得
light
念他的，
protecting
急
us,
死他都没用，
then even
对不
if
对？
they
结
cast
果当
spells or
当
put
你不
black
接受这一招
magic,
的时
no
候，
use.
谁发这个指
So
令来，这个东西啊，就像个导
yeah.
弹一样哈。
And also, if you have very strong energy, and that spell will take a U-turn and bounce back. The black magic when they bounce back.
谁出的招，
So whoever put that
啊，
black magic
大家好好
on
听我讲
the
啊，
high
如
energy
果不好好
person,
修，
then the
谁
person
向你
who put that
去，不
spell
管
or
他
black
自己
magic,
还是
they
请
will
人
be
发出
hurt
诅
the
咒
most.
啊，
Yeah.
连发起人
The
到
person
使用咒语的、
who
使用巫蛊的人，
asked somebody to
谁
put
向
the
我
black
们
magic,
我
and
们
the
的
person
网
who
友还有一些
actually
菩
put
提
the
同
black
修
magic,
发出这样的攻
yeah,
击，
anybody who put black
我会
magic
10万
on
倍
our
的加能量
Bodhi
绑上去
disciples or students, then
对，
I
让他们该
will
去哪儿去哪儿
send
去
that back
啊，别的人能收拾人了，害人了
100,000 times back,
所以我们
like
自
in
己要怎么做
force.
到呢？
So
你首
what
先
we
你要
need to
善良，
do,
你没
first
有
of all,
害人，
we need to kind. We don't want
一
to
一
harm
个没有害
others
人之心的人，
or
那
hurt
就是
others.
一个纯
A
真的人
person
哈。
who
在
doesn't
道
have
教生活
any
中最高
harming
境界是真
mind
人，
is a pure
成为真
person.
人。
It's
什么
like
叫真人啊？
the
以天地
in Taoist they
宇宙
call
的寿
it's
命来
the
共体
true
的，
person.
他不
It's
可能
like
再去
as
死了，
live as
那他
long
们能
as
量
the
多强？
universe. They would never die. So how
他想到了
strong
你
this
死，你都活
energy
到第二
is.
天，
Yeah.
就是这样子。别让一个真人起
So
烦恼心。
Never allow
他
a
对
true
你烦了
person
之
to
后，你
have
别说发
affliction.
财，
Yeah.
你别说
If
健康，好
he
好活
get
着，
afflicted
你
at
能活
you,
着就
then
不错了。你
as
天天
long
打
as you
针
can
吃药
live,
倒
it's
霉，
already
干喝，
good enough.
这是不断
Otherwise,
的事儿。
yeah,
只
and
要他
you
的
will
意
have
念产生
accidents
出
like
来，
every
你
day.
就
As
是
long
可
as
以
he has that mind you will always have. They
有
don't
虫子
need
有
to
念头
put
不需
any
要
spell
他
or
讨
any
厌
black
你
magic on you. If he just doesn't
这叫
like
真
you,
人的状态。
that would
那
be
些在底下那么
terrible
那
for
么
you.
做个符
And
念
that's
个
the
咒那
state
么
of
虫子
the
等等人
true
这些都是低级
person.
分子
And
啊，
those
在江湖
people
来说不
who
是一
like cast a spell or like put
这
black
个那个
magic,
东西
it's
都是
actually
很低
all
级的
very
最
low
初为了谋
level.
生
at the beginning, they're just trying to make a living. And then when it's very effective, then they start to harm people. They just do it for money. And sometimes in some countries, it's very popular. So for those presidents, they always are corrupted, and then you can, you want to kill them. Yeah, you couldn't even kill like a leader of a village, right? So they are very, very low level. So you learn Buddha Dharma, learn compassion. Don't be greedy and angry and ignorant. Be a compassionate and illuminated person. These evil energy will not come close. And also follow me to practice and cultivate. Then your whole family will be auspicious. And Joyce also said, yeah, do more merit. This is the most important. Yeah. Before, we always print sutras. When you can see these blessed items can help us. And before we print Bodhi sutras, you put the sutras in your bedroom, in your office. That would be best. And the sacred cover, and they have, I think there were like 4 sutras inside. It all brings you auspicion. When you have the Buddha statue here and those sutras there, even in 10,000 kilometers, it's all auspicious. If you go 10,000 meters away, and it's all auspicious. Some of our Bodhi disciples have this sutra, right? What do you use this for? Do you read it? Really read it? Whether you read it or not, you can offer on your altar or in your bedroom in a sacred place, and it will help to protect you. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattva mentioned in the sutra will protect you. You need to know that. So those people who need this sutra, contact us. You can contact North American Sibeyin. We still have some, and so we can send to you, so they will protect you. And Taiwan Sibeyin also have some. We're so grateful for Grandmaster for this approval. I would like to share a wonderful sponsorship opportunity. This is approved by Grandmaster JinBodhi, really to provide this opportunity for everybody to accumulate merits and to learn and to spread this sutra. Yeah, last year Grandmaster taught about this sutra of contemplating on Buddha Amitayas, this wonderful sutra. And in our live stream, we have already realized all the wonderful things in the Western Pure Land. It's so it's just fabulous. It's wonderful. And in the Western Pure Land, yeah, there's one visualization after another, and Grandmaster helped us to learn. And in the sutra, there were a lot of teachings of the visualizations, and also in the sutra, Buddha reminded human beings, what you will do, you will have the merits, enough merits to be eventually guided to Western Pure Land. So Buddha's Bodhisattva will guide you there. And even if in this life you haven't done the highest merits, as long as you focused on chanting Buddha's and Bodhisattva's sacred name, at least you won't have to suffer in this, lower realms. And so we need to keep our pure mind, accumulate more merits. And just like Buddha taught us, we can accumulate enough merits so in the future, when we're about to leave this world, then we will have a very auspicious place to go. And so this is what our online friend has already looked forward to have the opportunity to review and to listen to Grandmaster's teachings. So Today
因缘 集合，也是
is
特别
a
的能够
wonderful
允许，所以跟
opportunity
大家也是
with
报
Grandmaster's
告这样的好
special
消息。
permission.
那
I
我
like
们
to
的就是制作
report
团
to
队呢，即将就
everyone
开
that
始制作
we
这一部
are
佛
going
说
to
观
start
无量寿佛
making
经这样的一
this
系列的作
Sutra
品。
of
那么在这个
Contemplation.
作品当中呢，
And
我们
in
有
this sutra,
三种情
we
应该说是媒体吧，
we would
就是
have
能够
3 forms of the
跟大家
sutra.
一起来广为流传的。对，
Yeah, to
第一种呢是原经
to
文
present.
加上
So
菩
the
提
first
宗师
is the
讲解的
original
网络
sutra
电
plus
子版，就是
Grandmaster
PDF 版
JinBodhi's
本的
teaching.
佛
So
说观
it
无
will be
量寿佛经
PDF
就是
in
网络版
PDF
然后可以自己
files.
打印
So
出
this
来的
is
下载阅读的
electronic
第二种呢
file,
是
so you can
原
print
经
it
文
out
加
and you
上
can
经
read.
菩提宗师
And the
讲解
second
的
kind
音
is the
频。
original sutra
音频
plus
呢，就是说，
Grandmaster's
当你的网
teaching
络这个
in
数
the
据不是
audio
很足
form.
啊，或者说
So
开
the
车呀
first
做
is
家
a
务的时
digital
候哈，
book,
听起来的时
and
候
the
就很
second
方便
is
啊，也
in
节
the
省我们
audio
的这个
form.
网络
And
流
so
量，来
when
用
you
得
listen
非
to
常
the
方便。
audio, it
对，
doesn't need too
第
much
三种呢是
data,
原
and
经文加上
it
经
will
菩
be
提
easy
宗
for
师
you
讲
to
解的
listen.
视
And the
频。
third
这是最
form
完整的了。
is
就像我
the
们看直播
original
的时候，
sutra plus
看着师
Grandmaster's
傅，然后
teaching
也可以
in
看到
the
屏幕
video
上的
form.
经文啊，译
So
文
this is
这
the
样
most
子哈，
complete
有一
form.
个最
We'll be
充分
able
的
to
理解。
read
这
the
样子需要
original
我们专心
sutra,
的来学习
and
的时候
we
是最好的了。
also
对，
we can
所以
see
呢，因此
Grandmaster's
很
teaching,
多人就
and
特别的热
so a
心
lot
想
of
来
people
广
are
传
very
传播嘛。那么在我们的
yeah,
语书
passionate
房就
about
开通
spreading
了
this
学习
sutra.
广
And so
传
on
佛
Yushu
说观无
Home,
量寿
we
佛经的这样
have
的一个赞助
already
项目。
真是天大的好消息。
真的是太
initiated
好了
this
哈，我们有一
sponsorship
个更多的做
project.
功德的这样
And
的
so
通道
it's
和
such
机
a
会了。
wonderful
那我们
opportunity
还是来
to
造
accumulate
访
more
语书
merit.
房的
So
这个网站
let's
的呢，我们
go
输入语
to
数 home 这个
visit
网址，
Yushu
然
Home.
后
So
就
just
可以看到现在在我们的首页这
yeah,
样的
on
一个
the
非常宏大的这样的一个介绍。
first page,
然后
you
我们
will
看到了
see
在这个
an
banner 的
introduction
就是底
of
下就有一个立
the
即
Sutra
赞助的
of
按钮。
Contemplation, and there's
到
a
下面啊，
sponsor
立即
now
赞助就点
button.
进去。
And so
对，
you
这个时
can
候呢，我
click
们可能
sponsor
之前已
now
经做过的
and
网
click
友呢，
here.
做过赞助的网友，你已经有
Those who have
啊
already
账
done
号
some
了吧？
sponsorship
那你
before,
就可
maybe
以
you've already
选
had
择
an
右上
account.
角的
So
登录，
you can
直接就登录了。
just
新网
click
友
on
啊，
log
刚刚
in
听到这个做功德机
for
会的
our
这些新网
new
友们啊，
friends.
你
If you
先把
have
这个
just
屏幕
heard
拿手
the
机先照
sponsorship
一下，咔
opportunity
嚓一
for the
下
first
照一
time,
下，
maybe
接
you
到
can
我的
take a
网址啊，
screenshot or a
啊，你就
picture
可以
of
输入。
the screen
哎，
right
对，
now.
那新网
And
友
so
咋
you
办呢？
can
来到
put
这个网
in
站，
我们
the
先看一下，
you know
如果登录的
website
话呢，
so
你
you
就要
will
用
know
之前已
what the
经登
website
录过的
is. And
用
if
户
you
邮箱和
have
密码进行登录
already
就
an
好了。
account in
网友
Yushu
很方
Home,
便。
you can just
对，
log
那
in.
没有账号的新网
And
友呢，你就
if
可以
you do
通
not
过这
have
个
an
两
account
个
in
方
Yushu
两个
Home,
渠道哦，一
you
个是在
can
页面
either
的上面一
just
个蓝
click
色的 button，
on
蓝
the
色的
blue
按钮是
button
开始赞助进入，
sponsor
也可以
now,
通过这个
or
这个
you can
banner，就是这个
click
banner 是
on
啥？
the
这个海报吧，
呃
横幅海报。
啊，横幅
the
海报的
banner
最下面这个立即
at the
赞助
bottom
这
of
个
the
按钮
banner.
进
It
入
also
啊，
has
两种
a
方式都可以
sponsor
哈。
now
嗯，
好，
button.
我们进入了以后呢，能够看到
And
专项赞
when
助
you
这个
click
页
on
面，
sponsor
诶，
now,
我
we
们
will
第一个
see
看到的就是最新今
learn
天刚
and
刚
share
推
the
出的
Sutra of
佛说观无
Contemplation.
量寿佛经的这样一
Yeah,
个学习
so
广传的
learn
赞助
and
项目。
share
上面
this
的这个就
project.
对了。
对，
嗯，
然后
Yeah,
我们看到
just
真
like
的
what
是
you
特
see
别
on the
特别
screen.
慈悲，
And you
真
can
的
see
是希望
Grandmaster
每个
is
人都有
really
机会来
compassionate.
赞
He
助这
hopes
一
that
部
everybody can
神
have the
圣的经典的
opportunity
时候，
to
给你积累
sponsor
一份
this
功德。
sacred
那
sutra.
么这样的话呢，是
So
特别的指定了
Grandmaster
是美金
嗯
108元这样的赞助金额。
一份功德。
Yeah,
对，
one
是108
sponsorship right now,
啊
Grandmaster approved to
对
be
几乎每个人
$108
都能够
and
明白
almost
的。
everybody
哎呀，这个真的
can
太慈悲
afford
了。
this.
那么
This
同
is
时我们也
really,
看到在
really
这个专项赞助，
compassionate, so
我们的学习
everybody can
地
have
藏
the
经
opportunity.
利益无量众生的
And
赞助项
you
目
can
而
also
人
see
两头
learning the
放
Aristotle
所以呢，
Bodhisattva
你还是可以
Sutra.
根据自
This
己的需要来选
project
择
is
但是现
still
在呢，我们跟大家重点只有
still open.
介绍的
And
就是
now I'm
佛说观
introducing
无
the
量
new
寿佛
one.
经的这样的一个功
Is
德
the
项目。所以
sponsorship
我们来
for
看一下
the Sutra
它的
of
这些赞助的
Contemplation.
您赞助后的一些利益
So let's see the benefits of the sponsorship. Just show more, you will see. Yeah, so just now, this is the Sutra of Contemplation on Buddha Amitabha's. Buddha showed us a very dignified and beautiful Western Pure Land. And Buddha also delivered teachings on how to visualize. And this sutra reminds all sentient beings to respect and care for parents and teachers, believe in the law of causality, keep the precept, do good deeds, and protect and promote Buddhist scripture. Those who practice diligently will receive the guidance of the Buddha and Bodhisattva at the time of their passing and be reborn in the Western Pure Land and truly leave sufferings and attain happiness. What a great and compassionate vow. So this is Amitabha Buddha's great vow. So learning this Sutra of Contemplation, there are 3 forms, including the Sutra itself in PDF form and also the Sutra and Grandmaster teaching in audio or video. So it has 3 formats. With each chant of the Buddha's name, the evil karma of countless lifetimes will be extinguished. Wow. Yeah, so it's like billions of eons of that karma will be eliminated. So all those bad dreams, nightmares, sleep paralysis will all be removed. So we really need Buddha light and Buddha's power to help us to untie the grudges. It's all because of a bad karma that caused all those bad things to happen. So with a sincere, respectful heart and a pure heart, we need to study, practice, and spread this sutra will be illuminated by the boundless wisdom of Amitabha's Buddha and be blessed and protected by all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Receive health, wealth, longevity, and gain perfect wisdom, eliminate disasters, calamities, and all negative karma. This blessing will pass on to future generations, countless sentient beings, and will benefit and achieve enlightenment. So this is everyone who hope that we can receive in our life. Grandmaster is really compassionate. Just one sponsorship will bring us limitless benefits. So when we just click I want to sponsor, then we will come to the sponsorship page. So first we need to agree to the terms and conditions. So if you read and you can click on I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions. And when we click on that, well, for new friends, if you don't have an account, then you need to enter your email. Your email would be your username and also password and your country, your address, and all the ones with the red you need to fill in, so they are mandatory. And some of our online friends who maybe they're not very familiar with the online platform, you need to remember which email address you used and what password you used, or you can take a picture of what you put into the form. And so next time when you come in, you can just log in. And at the end, you need to agree to the terms of use. And you also need to agree to the terms of sponsorship agreement. So if you want to sponsor, you need to agree to these terms. So if you have already read, and then you will click on those two, and then you need to enter the beneficiary name. This is very important. So we're coming to the important part. Wuli, so at the beginning, it will show enter beneficiary name, and there's a beneficiary name rules and instructions. If you have sponsored before, for Chinese or Korean, you cannot exceed 6 characters. English names cannot exceed 28 characters. We suggest you do sponsorship only for one person, one sponsorship, not for a whole family. Yeah, so Joy said, yeah, Buddha light shines on everyone. Yeah, but if it is only on one person, this one person will receive more. If it's divided to 10 person, then one person only can have like 10%. Yeah, so it will be much less. So the power will be much less too. And so we actually suggest one person will do one sponsorship. If you want to protect the whole family, then you can do more sponsorship. I think for 10 people, if you do 10 sponsors, this is not mandatory, but it's just a suggestion or a reminder. So when you enter your name there, you can either choose your Dharma name, your legal name, or whatever. Yeah. And some people think, oh, I want to give merits to my, parents of past lives, or or my ancestors or karmic creditors. Yes, Grandmaster is so compassionate that he agreed that they can also do the sponsorship. So those who can, if they are still suffering in a bad realm, then because of this opportunity of this sponsorship, maybe they will be able to reborn in a good realm. So this is so wonderful. And if you say just all sentient beings, this will only show once. Yeah. And if you are not clear about if the beneficiary name does not meet the above requirements, our customer service team will contact you. So please respond within 48 hours. Yeah, if you have sponsored before, you would already know all these rules and instructions. So, okay, I will do for myself, Li. And then I did 1, and at least I will do 3, and so I choose 3. And you can see under the red banner, you can see, oh, the amount is already 324. And then I thought, oh no, my friend needs help, so I will add a new order. So these are for the alive. For the living, then you can add a new order. And so I think, maybe Mary has sleep paralysis and she's very weak, so I think she needs more Buddha light, more protection from Buddha, more blessings from Grandmaster. So Mary, I'll do 5 sponsorship for you, so I hope you will receive more merits. And so altogether, it's 8 sponsorship. And so these 3 are very urgent. And another thing is very important because it is Amitabha's Western Pure Land. I hope that my departed, grandma, grandfather, so I will do one for my grandfather. My grandfather, I need to do at least 3. And I will add a new order. I thought, oh, in addition to my grandfather and also my ancestors, right? So I will click on the list. Oh, someone's ancestors, or karmic creditors, or parents of past lives, or unborn baby. These are already in the list that you can choose, and so you can just pick that, and so it will be Wuli's ancestors. Oh, wonderful! And then I will submit one for ancestor, one for karmic creditors. But then I think, oh, ancestors, I have lots of ancestors and lots of karmic creditors. So I need to do as much as possible. So I'll do 10 for each. So now, like this, I think, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. And after I enter, I check all the whole order. I did 3 for myself. I did 5 for my good friend Mary. I did 3 for my grandfather. I did 10 for my ancestors. And I did karmic creditor, for my karmic creditor, I did 10 too. So well, it's all up to, well, it depends on your financial situation. You can do whatever according to your financial situation. Of course, the more the better. It's always because of the power of the merits, that maybe because of that my ancestors will be reborn in a good realm or even the pure land, and the merit needs to be big enough, and maybe those grudges that has not been untied before may be untied and cleared, and maybe they will be guided to a good place, and only when they are happy, then I will receive happiness. And so I do all my best to do this. And then I thought, oh, 10 maybe not enough. Oh no, I need to do more. So if I can afford to do that, I may even do 20. I'll do more. So I'll feel better. So I want to add more to my ancestors and karmic creditors. I hope all of them will go to the Western Pure Land. And after I add all of that, and then I will see, okay, I have read and accepted the terms and conditions. And then I need to choose the payment type. So I can choose either credit card. Actually, there are many different ways. Credit card, debit card, PayPal is acceptable. Cash is for Canada only. And other countries do not send US dollar cash, and other countries you cannot just send your cash there. So you can only pay by credit card, debit card, or PayPal. And some maybe it's too big amount. You have to do wire transfer. Then you can pick wire transfer, and then you can contact our customer service team. And if you choose debit card, I have to explain further, because today maybe we have new friends here. So when you enter your credit card number and your expiry date, there's also the CVC code. So you can see we have a display of the credit card. So if, say for myself, I have a credit card from a bank, and if you turn over the card beside your signature, there's the CVC code. So this is the CVC code. You need to put that code, also filling that code into the form. And then also I need to authorize I authorize Yushu Home to send instructions to the financial institution that issued my card to take payments from my card. And then I'll click Make Payments. And then I'll have the order number 1402. And so just wait. Your process is it's under process. And it's processing. So do not close that window. Because it's processing, and then you'll see that it's processing, and then you can see that there is another button for sponsor again. It's for someone who sponsored, maybe your grandpa, but you forgot your parents, or maybe your son. And next time, or after a few days, you can sponsor again. And if you click on the sponsorship order, then you'll be able to see this sponsorship. Yeah, it's already there, and it's waiting for approval. And so our customer service team is waiting for confirmation of your payment. So there will be, like we promised, 48 hours. If we receive your payment, then after 48 hours, it will be processed. If credit card, it will be faster. And then, okay, my sponsorship is completed. And then when you click on the sponsorship list, if you click on sponsor list, you will see, if you click on sponsor list, you want to see who has sponsored. And the first is the Sutra of Contemplation. So the red one is the list of the people who sponsored, and the right button is for the departed sponsor list, like my departed grandfather or my ancestors or karmic creditors, so the list of them. And so, okay, so in the sponsor list, it has already shown my sponsorship and Mary Lee's name. And so they're already on the sponsor list. And then I can also, at the right corner, it says go to sponsor list, departed. I can go directly to that departed sponsor list and see if my it shows that, okay, my grandfather, my ancestors, my karmic creditors already shown there. So, yeah, all of these has already been shown there, right? Yeah, so after you sponsor, in 48 hours, you can check these. Unless this is very fast, like say for example credit card, the processing time will be even faster, less than 48 hours, but at least 48 hours will, maximum 48 hours. So Christine made it very clear. So so you have already displayed one sponsorship. I've already thought of a lot of people, but some of our online friends ask, what if they they cannot do a very big one? Can they do like this month they got the salary, so they'll do some, and next month after they got the next month's salary they will do more? Yes, they can. I know that Mary needs more, so this month I will do for Mary. Next month when I have more money, I will remember to do for my parents or some other friends or other people who I care. And at this time, of course, if I can do that ourselves, but the best way is for us to encourage them to do the sponsorship themselves. Say, for example, my children, they are already working, they have salary, they have income themselves. So maybe the best way is for me to encourage them and introduce the sponsorship project to them, so that we're planting the seed of merit, seed of fortune, and seed of merits for them, so that those young people eventually they would know that Buddha light is blessing them, and they would also know the benefits of the sponsorship. Just taking as an example, say for example, my friend John or Johnson, maybe he needs to take some time to consider that, and that's good. And so I may also secretly do that for him, and the merit will also go to him. But if he can do it himself, then the merit will be even more. So every time Grandmaster would like everyone who accumulate merit, not only you will accumulate merit so that you can have better fortune, but also to plant the seed of compassion and kindness. When we were learning the Sutra of Earthstone Bodhisattva, when we do merits for ourselves, we will receive 100%. But for the departed, they can only receive 1/7 of the merits. We will receive the 6/7. So the best is when we can do merits, we do it ourselves. And so the earlier we do it, then we can receive merits earlier. If because of financial situation, if you cannot do too much, then you can wait till next month and do more. But this project will not be open forever. So at the beginning, when we had the opportunity for sponsor Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra, a lot of our online friends say, oh, today they just sponsored Guru Rinpoche's heart mantra. Tomorrow they were able to find the house that they want or find a job or something. So many stories like this. So these merits really bring us a lot of good fortune. Thank you, Grandmaster, because our life have endless sufferings and disasters. So today we mentioned some of the stories. These are all the letters that they sent us. These are all the true stories, and when we hear these stories, it's very scary. And we talked about a lot of karmic creditor, but not only karmic credit. Sometimes it's your ancestors, or maybe that's your aborted baby, or maybe your brothers or sisters in your previous life before you fight in your previous life, and then they were angry. So now in this life they are coming to take revenge. And so these happens very often. So I'm trying to give your opportunity now. Buddha's birthday is approaching, and so this is a very good opportunity for everyone to help. I want to help everyone. For those of you who have financial difficulties, you can chant and listen to the live feed. This also accumulate merit. But if you do have the financial ability, then I do recommend you to do it. Don't think that making merits or these is a kind of consume the money. It's not. A lot of times, when we have meditation centers, like over 10 years ago, before when I saw them, they have already got more money than they should have according to their fate. Say, for example, their fate is supposed to have 5 million, but he's already having 20 million. When I see that, I'm not happy. I'm actually afraid. So I would persuade them to let
这里
go
头几
more
乎是90%的人
some
都不信。
business and
哎呀，师傅，你
come
们这
to
修行人，你
cultivate
们
and
这
practice.
我们在家我们都
90%
要
of
拼的。
them didn't want to listen
我
to
们的
me.
事业来之
They
不
always
易，
said,
我们要
"No,
拼的。
Master, you don't know.
这里头
In
有
the
这种
business,
人，
we have to
现在我
work
们也见
hard."
不到了。不是不
Some
来
of
的是来不
those
了的。
people, we cannot
没
see
了。
them anymore. It's
那你
not
拼的
because
这
they
些钱
don't
是
want
为
to
啥
come,
呀？
because they have already
就是
passed
满足
away.
自己一
So
个
you make so
其
much
实
money.
有点
What's
叫
that
无
for?
明和盲目的
It's
内
just
心，
to
对不对？其实你的
satisfy your
生活
mind,
费用，你现在
your
赚来的钱已经超
blindness.
越的不
You
得了
have
了，你
already
花
had so
200
much
辈子都
money.
花不完这个
Like
钱，对
you
不对？
can
何苦
never
呢？
spend so much money in
哎，
this
所
life.
以你要
Maybe
来做
even
功德呀，来修行
200
啊，不
lives
来
you
了
cannot spend all of
啊，
that
对
money.
不对？
When
就
I
会变成一种
suggest you
如
come
佛
and
所说，就是
practice, you don't
习
want to
性。
come. So it
当这个错
becomes
误一旦形成习惯之
a
后，
habit.
他就
When the
觉得我
mistake also
我能
becomes
少
a
做一天
habit,
我都
then
很难受
they
啊。
think
所以
they
现
would
在给
feel
大家这样的做
uncomfortable,
功德的机
even
会哈，
stop
来
doing
改变我的
that
命运
for a
啊，
day.
给
And
自己的
so
未
I'd
来
like to
铺一
provide
条
you
路。
these opportunities for you to
哎，你
accumulate
想真有一
merits
天
to
我们
pave
面
the
临
way
死
for
亡，
your
那
future.
每个人都要
You
走
know,
的，不管你
everybody
怕
would
不怕，
have to leave
信
this
不
world,
信？
whether you
当
are
你真要走的
afraid
时
of
候，
that
你
or
才
not.
是
When
会
you
想我
really
去哪
need to
里，
pass away, you might start to
对不对？
think, where would
哎，
I
那来
go?
信之中后面那
And
个
in
说
the
有7
letters,
个黑影子，
there was
这个
someone
还
mentioned
不是往
about the
死里整你的，
7
也
shadows,
真是那个黑
dark
白无
shadows.
常来抓你，
Yeah.
而且没
So
办法挣
if
扎，就直接到
really
地狱的
those
那些人呢，
black
对
and
吧？
white
铁链子一套你
impermanence,
就
they
跟着走了，
come and
没
try to
有时
bring
间
you
挣扎，
to the
挣扎
hell.
你
You
挣
don't
扎
have
你拉倒，
time even to
什么都
struggle.
晚，
And
对吧？
then
所以
that's
活
the
着的时候
end.
有这个能
So
力，听我
when
讲
you
佛
are
法，讲
still
慈悲之道，
alive and
相
you
信你
have
的
the
机会，
ability,
好
you
机会就来
listen
了。
to my
不相信，
teachings.
恐怕
If
你
you
还要多
believe,
受
then you
点苦
have
吧。
more good
对，
fortune,
所
more
以等之
opportunity.
后
If
看
you
你的
don't
因缘
believe,
吧。
then you may
嗯，
have to suffer more.
师傅，其实我
And
是
hopefully
非
later
常
you will
的
have
就是感恩
opportunities.
师傅给我们这个机
So
会，
we're
这个机会
very
只不过就是
fortunate for
你刚才
Grandmaster
讲
to
的已经
to
这
provide
么
us
多是
with the
功德，直接
opportunity.
帮助我们
Yeah,
马上能够
it's
见
not
效的
only
啊。其实和网友想分享的
these
还有一
merits
点是什么
will
呢？就是
bring
通过这
us
种做功德来
benefits
培
right
养我
away,
们一
and
个应该
also
说更健康的一
accumulating
种生活的
merits
习
will
惯。
help
原
us
先啊，
to
我们不
form
懂不
a
接触学
healthier
佛的时
habit.
候，
Before
这
we
个
learn
看在我们
Dharma,
温哥华
you
真的
know,
是
in
很多
Vancouver,
人还是
we
喜
really
欢
have a
今天
lot
买
of
个
people
包
who,
啦，明
you
天
know,
追个什么
today
名
they
牌
want
啦，
to
或者换车
buy
啦这些
a
的，
a
都是还是
bag
有
or
这种一
maybe
种消费
change
的
to a
习
new
气啊。
car, or
那
they
也
have
不要说
those
去
habit
餐
of
厅请客
consuming,
吃饭，这种就
um,
是更
you
豪
know,
华的这
let
些。
alone, you know,
对，哎呀，
去赌场
go to the
不好意思
restaurant
去
or
看
even
球场
casinos.
这些
Yeah,
的，
I
对吧？但是
even
如
don't
果
want
你
to
开始
mention casino.
你将这些
Yeah,
消费
but
的
if
行为慢慢的
you
转到去
change
做
the
功
habit
德，
of
特别是这个功
consuming
德
to,
安排好我
you
们的
know,
父母，还
making
对我们
merits
的
to
子孙后
arrange,
代有益
make
的
good
话，我们
arrangement
会
for our
觉得，
parents
不
and
是我
even
不买
our
包了，不买
descendants.
那个名
And
牌
maybe
包
you
没
don't
意
want
义
to
了，我
buy
不穿高
those
跟
brand
鞋了，
name
不买
bags
这种
or
首饰了，
heel,
我就
high
开始
heel
去做这
shoes
种善良
or
的事情，
jewelries.
而且
You
我会
you
告
start
诉
to
大家，
do
你会感
kind
到
things or
特别
good
喜悦的
deeds.
是什么？因为
And
你的这个
let me
赞
tell
助
you,
还会
what
让
you
我
will
们
be
的这
happy
些
about
节目
is
传播到，
yeah,
通过网
your
络传播到
kindness
世界
and
更
when
远
all
的地方
these
去，
you
能够传
know
播到更多的
teachings
人
are
也
spreading
能够听
to
到师傅的
farther
讲法，
away to more
让他
people,
们
they
获
can
得师
hear
傅加持
Grandmaster
的这些
teaching
受
so that
益，
they can
更多的
also
人
receive
像你今天这
Grandmaster's
样听法以后的这种法
blessings,
喜，你是
and
不
they
是
can
觉得
also
更
receive
是
the
发
Dharma
心
bliss
痛
just like you
欢
are
欣，
having now.
对不
Would
对？
现
you
在我们在
be
直播的过程之
overjoyed,
中，
right?
我们已经
So
来到了
during
3个
this
小
live
时。
feed, it's
你能
already
听到
3
这到
hours.
追到3个小时的
If
时候，你的
you
坏运
can
气都
do
可能已经消失了。
3 hours, your
你
bad
那个
fortune
梦
may
魇
have
压床
already
的事儿，
cleared those sleep paralysis, at least for 10 years, will not come back. I'm just testing you whether you have the patience, whether you have the fortune. A lot of people, just for some, trivial things, then they don't have time to practice, they don't have money to sponsor. When they were only thinking of that, they don't have the opportunity to transform their life. So that's why I prolong the teaching for 3 hours. All our online friends, for you to stay here for almost 3 hours, you are fortunate. 阿弥陀佛，Buddha His Buddha light will shine on
药
you.
师佛佛光
All
普照你
compassionate
全家
medicine Buddha's light will shine on your
文殊
whole
菩萨
family.
佛光智
Manjushri
慧普照你，让你
Bodhisattva's
全
light
家
and wisdom will
聪
shine
明智
on
慧
you,
啊
and for your whole family will be
地藏王
wise
菩萨
and
会帮
intelligent.
你将
Earth
一切
Lord
恶
Bodhisattva
灵
will
阴
help
气
you
全带
to
走
take away
啊，
all
该去
the
地去地狱，
evil
该去天国去
energy.
天国。
And those, whether they need to go to hell or heaven, they
所以
will go to the place where they belong.
那我们也就大家听了3个小时哈。
Now
这些福
it's
都已经
almost
得到
3
了啊。
hours, so you
那我
already
们
received
就
all these
说一下
fortune. So,
下一场直播。
so let's.
下一场直播就是明天同一时间。
Okay,
啊
so the
因为我们
next
的
broad
话是周六
live feed
4
would
月
be
23号
tomorrow,
晚
the
上
same
9点
time,
然后
Vancouver
台北
time,
时间周六
Saturday,
4月
April the
24号上午
23rd,
9
6
点
p.m., and
胆小
Asian
的不要
Taipei
来
time
哈。
will be April the
明天的
24th,
更精
9
彩，
a.m.
更洒脱，
If you
更不得了。
are very
是什么
scared,
样的
then
呢？我不能
tomorrow
透
will be
露。
even
但是
wonderful,
超级精彩，
and
比
it's
今天的还
super
好玩儿。
wonderful, even
啊，你会觉得
more
哎，
fun
我们
than
完全是
today.
不一样的东西
And
啊。
it's a completely
非常的
different
好
thing.
玩
It's
啊。
very
明天
much
别忘了
fun.
哈，
So
明天
don't
欢迎你
forget
来
to
哈。
come. Welcome to
好，
join
祝
us
大家如
tomorrow.
意吉祥，
Wish everybody auspiciousness
健康
and
长寿，
wish fulfillment,
身
health
心
and
安泰。
longevity, and be safe
明
and
天同一
peaceful.
时间我们再见。
We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Thank you, Grandmaster.
就此欢喜。我快乐了，我健康了，我幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点里，人生变得深。